Good evening, racing fans. Welcome to racing action from Grand River Raceway for this Wednesday evening, September the 3rd. Final month of our season here at Grand River for 2025, and, well, a beautiful night. Blue skies overhead. Track listed as fast, and we should have a great night. 10 races on this Wednesday evening. And let's get a look at the changes on this evening's card. Note in race number 1, number 7, LD's Hunter, the driver will be Louis Waugh. Louis Waugh will drive the 7. Number 9, Wild Card Bet. Hobble shortened 1 inch. Hobble shortened up 1 inch, and also changing open bridle to blinkers. Open to blinkers. In the second race, there are no changes. No changes, race number 2. Race number 3. Number 3, written in stone. The driver, Tyler Borth. Tyler Borth will drive number 3, written in stone, in the 3rd. Race number 4 has no changes. No changes, race number 4. Race number 5, number 6, Bar Down Brisbee is scratched. Race 5, scratch number 6, Bar Down Brisbee. Race number 6, no changes. No changes, race number 6. Race number 7, no changes. No changes, race number 7. Race number 8 will go as programmed. Race 9, number 2, How You Play the Game. The driver will be Tyler Borth. Race 9, 2, How You Play the Game, Tyler Borth. And the 10th race, note that we'll have drivers to be announced on 6, Snowport, and 9, Renegade Beach. Once again, reviewing races 1 and 2. Race 1, 7 LD's Hunter. Louis Waugh will drive, 9 Wildcard Bet. Open bridle blinkers and hobble shortened 1 inch. And the second race, no changes. Well, it's currently 17 minutes to post time. Time to welcome in my co-host and handicapping expert, our London Bureau Chief, Sugar Doyle. How are you doing? Did you enjoy your weekend, your time off?
Did enjoy my weekend. The long weekend for many, not quite a long weekend for myself, but you know what? We enjoyed it. Did some calling at Clinton on a Sunday afternoon. They had a charity drivers challenge, 45th annual, Gary. It's been going 45 years. First time ever there was a tie for the win. It was Travis Henry and Austin Sorey on top in the end with 52 points, and there was even a tie for third right behind him, just 1 point behind. What a great challenge they put on all day. It was a lot of great racing up at Clinton, some of the best I've ever seen up that way.
Well, the cool thing about Clinton is just the support they get in that town. I was the announcer there for about maybe, thinking about 3, maybe 4 years back in the mid to late 90s, mid-90s-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And just the support. I know the stand itself, sometimes it can be a little hot, but the actual facility and the way that people come out and support it, I just love it. And, of course, I always loved having any connection with Ian Fleming, great guy. And so just everything about Clinton, it always gets you fired up to go to the races.
Yeah, and this just in. It's not as hot anymore up there in the booth. I know I've been there before, and I've been dripping over the microphone. Probably the only track I've ever called that where I've been dripping while calling races. And, well, brand new grandstand, right? And that means there's air conditioning up in the judges' stand. They've done a beautiful job with their grandstand, a little more compact than the old one, but fresh and new is always a good thing in horse racing.
Yeah, and yet, you know what I also like? the old sense of it. I mean, it's a small
Yeah.
town, and they love their racing. They get those lawn
Oh,
chairs out, and or even sit up on the hill, that little bank up there, and it's just they care
yeah.
deeply about the racing. And it's a Sunday afternoon. It's a great spot to be. I miss going there, but time moves on. Wound up going elsewhere to other tracks and filling out the calendar. But those are great days. We often have fond memories of other places that we have announced at over the time. But
Yeah, you've done some good things over the years,
well,
man.
on the
Flamber
tour.
opens this week. Exciting times, right?
Oh yeah. Well, look, yeah, that's probably the biggest event opening next to it's right in front of the NFL season. They both open on Thursday night. I'm sure more eyes will be on Flamborough than the NFL season. Oh, come on.
There you go.
The NFL, the monster starts tomorrow. The NFL season, but Flamborough Downs will be excited to be there. And then, of course, Sunday night announcing at Flamborough with the Buffalo Bills playing. That'll be a little bit of a
Oof.
challenge. We might have as much attention on the football as the races, but we'll pretend that we're professional and see what we can do. I was also looking at the stats. Here we're down into our last month, and we've had
Same.
last year, this year's with the stats, but also looking at the drivers and maybe Sammy. I think he can't be caught. He's 7 in front now over Austin Sorry, and then another 4 back is Daryl Teese, and those are the top 3. And the trainers,
Okay.
that could still be interesting. Robert Kyle Fellows is 1 up on Kyle Bossons and 3 on Greg McNair. I don't think Greg will have enough starters here to try to track down either of Robert Kyle Fellows or Kyle Bossons.
Hmm.
But look at Robert Kyle
Yeah.
Fellows, a 29% winner, pretty strong season here at the River.
Loves to win there, doesn't he? And a couple of drivers that are heading towards some big milestones in the weeks ahead as well. Garrett Rooney's got a great shot of hitting 2,000 career driving wins through the month of September. Travis Henry, well, he'd have to get on a real good run throughout the month of September to hit 3,000. I'm not sure he can do it, but it could happen. Garrett Rooney, though, very likely to hit 2,000 this coming month.
Yeah, those are some nice milestones. And I was teasing Paul McKenzie. He's around about 94.05, something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And I said, I want to see 10,000. I'm not sure which is. Am I going to be alive to see 10,000 and still be announcing, or is he going to make it to 10,000? Because that's. But just even at 9,400, that's big. So he'd be trying to
Oh,
track down 9,500, and that's a pretty elite. I was
yeah.
looking up to see where would 10,000 put you, and it puts you at around about the 30th all time, somewhere in around there.
It's something. He was part of that Charities Driver Challenge on Sunday, and he was fitting right in. At one time in that challenge Sunday, Gary, 4 of them were tied with like 40 points in the lead with 2 legs left to go, and it was just crazy. And again, Mackenzie was a big part of the leaderboard that day.
Well, it's amazing if you consider, the population of the Maritimes, and yet what would be the ratio of Maritimers in harness racing in Ontario? It's certainly disproportionate.
Well, they start them young, right? I mean, I was driving in some matinee events in Western Prince Edward Island before I started calling races. I had a few cheap horses, and I'd travel to the tracks of Kensington and O'Leary and Tyne Valley, and a lot of these kids that were hanging around those matinee tracks, guys like Austin Sorey, Ryan DeRoche, Brett McDonald. That's where they all learned it, right? The matinee racing. Long before they were licensed up, they were driving in races on Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, no, well, they get a lot of attention on racing. I mean, you've told me about the Gold Cup and Saucer. So one day we'll actually take a day off. I don't know. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
maybe I'll get forced to take a day off somewhere along the way when somebody says, you know what, you have no shot. You don't know what you're doing anymore. You might as well take a holiday, and then we'll go down there. We'll start to see a lot of the world then.
you'll be fine,
Yeah,
Gary.
it'll
You'll be
happen.
fine until you don't want to do it anymore.
Well, listen, Father Time is undefeated, so you can't beat Father Time. But you know what? Looking at the time, there's your segue. 7 minutes to post time. We'll be back with some pick five action.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. You're watching Grand River Raceway, Wednesday evening, 10 races carded. Ontario Sire Stakes Gold has come to Allura this evening. We've got two events for the 2-year-old fillies and a pair of events for the 2-year-old colts and geldings. $90,000 Ontario Sire Stakes Gold events. I believe it's leg 4 for those. We've also got the pop-up series, and we've also got some go-to wagers here to talk about. The pick 5 starting up, races 1 and 6, pick 4s beginning in races 2 and 7. Non-jackpot, high 5 opportunities in races 5 and 10 this evening. Best of luck to all racing and playing along. Let's take a look now at some pick 5 ticket ideas for race number 1. $5,000 guaranteed pools here. Opening up as the current favorite, number 3, One Lucky Beach, coming in from Rito. Bob McClure. You're going to see many of the Woodbine Mohawk Park regulars with us this evening, driving at Grand River Raceway, as they will be heavily involved in those gold events for Ontario Sire Stakes 2-year-old trotters. So here we go. Opening leg of this pick 5 play. I'm on 3, 4, and 7. All of them are taking some mild action, especially the 3. One Lucky Beach. Again, Bob McClure driving. I'm using 4, Dancing in the Dark, Scott Young, The Answer. On board for Jerry Sims. This one's got a pretty good record coming in. I was thinking he'd take some action here, but right now an inflated 9-1 price. Like his chances, love that price on 4, Dancing in the Dark. We're also going to include the 7, LD's Hunter, who's come back from racing the Golden Rods at Lexington's for trainer Anthony Beaton. That one getting Louis Philippois. The second race on this evening's action, there's your first gold event. This one for the 2-year-old trotting fillies. Again, $90,000 purse. We're using 2, Timeless. We're also using number 5, Share Hill. Going to single up number 5, PL Aussie, coming in off a track record performance at Kawartha Downs, where he went through bullet fractions, 25 to 53, 121, stopped the clock in 150 and 1. Nick Boyd was driving PL Aussie to a track record performance in the latest over Kawartha Downs, and he's fitting in well there this evening. Sammy Filion goes on board for trainer Amanda Riley tonight. We're going to go 4 deep in race number 4 with a 1, 3, 5, and 6. There's the gold event for the Colts and Geldings, 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, $90,000 purse in race 4. Again, 4 deep there, Touched by an Angel, a D8 Mastermind, the Green Gazoo, and Crunching the Odds. Deepest of all in race number 5. I did have the 6 involved in the ticket. That one was a late scratch, so we moved in the 8 in place. So we've got a 5 deep finale on this pick 5 play. 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. If you want to play along, $24 even on the 20-cent wager. Again, a $5,000 guaranteed pool here. Gary Guy set to chime in with his best go on the early pick 5 at the River.
Well, Sugar, there's your $24 play, and well, you're playing just a little bit less. $4.80. We're not spending a big pile of money because in the first race I didn't use Dancing in the Dark, although really racing well of late. But a couple of runner-ups in a third. But there's just a couple I like. LD's Hunter, I like that one a lot with Louis Bois, and then also One Lucky Beach with Bob McClure off of a win at Rito Carlton in 56. So I'm just settling with just those 2. We're going to go that deep. And then I'm singling up. I got Share Hill, your top one, so, I'm not reaching there. Doug McNair, Greg McNair, and, one that's coming in from Lexington, but Greg McNair training. Again, PL Aussie, I think he got in the third race. PL Aussie jumps off the page. The fourth race, we're both in agreement that it's a wide-open dash. You went 4 deep, and so did I. We both think that Crunch in the Odds is the one. But 4 deep, the only difference, I have Tavern on the Green with Louis Bois, Luc Blais, and I didn't use Touched by an Angel down on the inside, your second one, so that could be a problem. look at actually one that you see this one racing a second with broken equipment July the 31st in a gold, so you'd know this one can win a gold, was close in one.
Right.
And then in the final leg, again, one that I think is a pretty wide open dash, but I just went with the 4, 3, and 2 fire control. We both liked that one on top, but I also used your second choice, Bet I Will, and then 13 to Yuma, one that you didn't use. I'm taking a little flyer on one that's had a bunch of qualifying action, but makes a first start of the year. We'll see what Double Barrel Daryl and 13 to Yuma. That could help it because I think that might be a price play, but $4.80, that's all I'm willing to throw up here. I'm going to try to nail it short.
Well, I'll wish you luck. $4.80. It's like 20% of what I'm spending. I'm going to hope to cash in on an early pick 5. Conley Ecclestone, he's going to go with us on that single in race number 3. Likely be singled up by many. PL Aussie, as mentioned, coming in off that Kawartha Downs track record performance. We're going to see him in race number 3 from post 5. Conley single. 5 deep for Conley to start things up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. He's 4 deep race number 2. Then he's got that single, PL Aussie. The 4th race, Gold, Ontario Sire Stakes Gold, 1 and 4, Touched by an Angel, and First Class Mass. And for Conley in the final leg, he's on 3, Bet I Will, and to the back tier spot, number 9, Dancing on the Drive. Conley's in for $16 even. On the 20-cent wager, 16 was always my favorite number in hockey. Started out following Bobby Clark of the Flyers, and I wanted 16 on my jersey, Gary.
Bobby Clark from, I think, Flin Flon, Manitoba. Am I right about that?
No, he was tough.
But, yeah, I remember, well, a great Philadelphia Flyer. And, well, of course, the thing that Bobby Clark will be remembered the most for is breaking the ankle. I think it was Harlemont.
No, don't say it.
Well, you know, the Russians were getting the better, and he just said, I can fix this. I look, there's the horses heading on out to Sugar.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's see him post-parade, and let's see everybody get around okay tonight.
Field on post parade for race number 1. 1 is Ceylon Spice, Sammy Filia for Luke Blay. Number 2, Sweet and Fast, Austin Story for Sean Stacy and Hudson Stanibreads and Bertrand Gillespie and Dave McDonald. Number 3 is One Lucky Beach, Bob McClure for Patrick Dillon and Patty Hoskin. Number 4 is Dancing in the Dark, Scott Young for Jerry Sims and John O'Brien and Larry Carter. Number 5, Glenn Emack, Doug McNair for Greg McNair and Frank Brundle. And number 6, Magical Dundas, Jason Ryan for Sean Stacy and David Lumsden. And number 7, LD's Hunter, Louis Waugh for Anthony Beaton and Dumaine Haven Farm. Number 8 is In the Circle, Damien McClellan for Robert Kyle Fellows and Robert Don Fellows. And 9 is Wild Card Bet. Carl Thomas drives and trains for Carmel Racing. Louis Waugh drives the 7, field of 9, race number 1. Let's get a look at this field, and we'll start with number 4, Dancing in the Dark, your top one, who, well, does look like one that's certainly headed in the right direction. 55-2, that compares well last time out. A second, and looks like this one likes to get off the gate pretty well, Sugar.
Exactly. He looks great, by the way, tonight, Gary. And you know what? Strong gate push in the latest, sitting second, 27 and change, and then was right there at the finish for a trip in 55 and 2. Same kind of trip can win this race tonight. I like his chances, and again, I love that price. I talked him up when he was 9-1. Now he's 5-1. I think he's still going to hold some pretty good value here, and he looks very, very sharp.
Yeah, and there he is coming on past us, looking ready to rock and roll. Dancing in the dark at 5-1. Number 3, One Lucky Beach, Bob McClure, Patrick Dillon, and this is one that's already got a win in just 2 career starts.
Yeah, the win came in the latest at Rito, 156 flat. So I'm thinking 156 over Rito is easily 55 over Grand River, if not 54 and change. So the horse players have figured that out as well. 8-5 favorite status. He's a top 2 player all day, a must for the exactor here.
And number 7, LD's Hunter, is my top choice. I'm sitting at 2-1. You get Louis Waugh for Anthony Beaton, pretty strong connections. What do you make, though? This one went to Lexington and just didn't race well at all. But then before that, flashed some nice speed. In fact, 53 flat, a second at Woodbine, July the 10th. So which way do you lean with LD's Hunter? I decided to lean strongly, but also those last 2 races, they could be concerning.
I did include him in the opening leg of the pick 5. I did not include him in the top 2, though, Gary, just for the simple fact his trip to Lexington was a bust. I don't know if the ship didn't work for him, if he didn't like being stable down there, or if he did even stable there. I mean, he's come back now, and it's been a little over 2 weeks between starts. So he's back on home turf, maybe freshened up a bit, but I don't know. I hope that trip to Lexington didn't take any of his heart away.
Well, I'm banking on Louis Waugh. Louis certainly is one that gets the job done. Anthony Beaton, of course, has had all kinds of success. I'm a little behind in my paperwork here and knowing what your picks are. Who is your 4th one?
Yeah. Well, I had the 2, Sweet and Fast, labeled as a superfecta player in here. I did not include him in the opening leg of the pick 5, but the players are on him. My 4 top choices here, 4, 3, 7, and 2, are the horses that are taking the action here. I see 4 leaving. I see the 2 leaving. I see the 7, maybe gate blasting, of course, with Louis on board. And even this 3, One Lucky Beach. I mean, first time ever at Grand River Raceway, but coming off that sharp win when riding along up close at Rito. This is a nice race to start things off.
And I did use the 2 for 4th. We both passed on one Ceylon Spice, $277,000 yearling purchase. It's had just 1 start and closed a little bit late to get a 4th. Sammy Filia, Luc Blais, 18-1. Is there a sleeper play in there to get a big start to the pick 5?
I don't think he's capable of winning. He's capable of maybe hitting the try or super. I just don't see any gate speed when 3 or 4 of the best that are taking the action all show they've got the gate speed. I mean, you want to be sitting up close in this. The 2, 3, 4, and 7 all capable of sitting 1, 2, 3, 4 here, Gary.
Yeah, of course, one thing when you've only had 1 start, I mean, there's so much hidden that we don't know about the horse yet because we haven't seen it, where others got a few more lines on the page. So I'm always leery about the
room for improvement too, right?
Yeah, well, and I mean, $277,000 yearling. There's something expected of this racehorse to put up that kind of money. It's a field of 9, race number 1. Let's go. Let's do this. Field 4, race number 1. Field of 9 for the first of 10 dashes on a Wednesday night at the river, and it is dancing in the dark with Glennie Mac driving home, LD's Hunter, then down to the inside One Lucky Beach and Sweet and Fast, Magical Dundas, then in the circle, Ceylon Spice, and trailing his wild card bet, Dancing in the Dark has the lead for Scott Young, 9-2 on the board. Glennie Mac is racing second. The field works on around the turn. LD's Hunter, and Louis Wa is racing position to third right now. And then there's a gap in front of the fourth one, One Lucky Beach, who's currently traveling about 6 or 7 lengths off the lead, but doing all the heavy lifting early, dancing in the dark in front of Glennie Mack, who's riding the pocket. LD's Hunter is racing third. One Lucky Beach is the 4-5 favorite in fourth right now, about 6 or 7 from the leader as they race their way up towards the half, and then it is back to Sweet and Fast as they work their way on past the half, back to Ceylon Spice. Then racing seventh is Wild Card Bet, Magical Dundas, and in the circle, half 56-4, 29-4 second split after a 26-3 opener. Dancing in the Dark leads it. Glennie Max racing second. There goes One Lucky Beach now, popping to the outside. LD's Hunter is on the inside, racing fourth and backing away a little bit. Then Sweet and Fast is part of the outer flow and is coming, and then it is back to Ceylon Spice and Wild Card Bet, trailing pair Magical Dundas in the circle. They race by 3/4. Dancing in the Dark. One Lucky Beach is bearing down on Dancing in the Dark. 126-2 with a 3/4 time. One Lucky Beach and Bob McClure has come on to get the lead. One Lucky Beach Dancing in the Dark on the inside is fighting back though. And then racing third, Sweet and Fast, and now kicking in late. LD's Hunter has a full out of steam but work to do. One Lucky Beach has got the lead. One Lucky Beach as they come to the finish. Charging late is LD's Hunter, but One Lucky Beach is going to win. LD's Hunter second. Dancing in the Dark and Sweet and Fast, 156 flat. Well, Sugar, we were right about who the top four were. Both of us and the fans mostly identifying the top four. The fans also noted One Lucky Beach. This one heavily bet 4-5 and lived up to it. Raced really well.
Yeah, he made a really nice push down the backside when Bob McClure called upon him. A very nice son of Sunshine Beach. Now going into the victory lane in each of his last two. And this is his Grand River Raceway debut. So a nice win and right to the mark of 156 flat and likely could have went quicker.
Yeah, and look, also it just One Lucky Beach. Bob clearly knew what he had under the hood with this one, and did drive it to Rideau Carleton. Drove this one in that win, so was fully familiar. That was a hard first up win at Rideau Carleton, so you knew that this 2-year-old was already stretched out nicely.
Wow. And you know what, Gary? Players are playing early at the river. Over 40,000 wagered into race number one. Pick five pool, $14,000 plus. So we'll thank our players for coming along for the ride early this evening. Lots more to come, though, right, with the Ontario Sire State Gold event.
Yeah, and Dance in the Dark is one that raced well, but did certainly yield a couple of spots, and one that's now got a case of being a little camera shy yet. 5 starts, but also now has 4 top 3 finishes. So Dancing in the Dark is one that I think we'll hear some more from. LD's Hunter
paying his bills, right?
Yeah, well, certainly. And LD's Hunter was closing nicely. It's just at least one thing. When you look at those Lexington starts, this is more like the LD's Hunter that further down the page showed up at Woodbine.
For sure. It was great to see this one bounce back. That was a really nice final quarter. Was gaining on the winner. They weren't going to beat the 3, but a good showing for number 7, LD's Hunter, to come back like that.
Well, we're going to start off with a 4-5 shot on the pick 5, no long shot, and One Lucky Beach. And
that'll work.
Yeah, Prime Time Bob, the winning driver. One Lucky Beach, 2-year-old Sunshine Beach bag. Gelding got Patrick Dillon and Patty Hoskin sharing ownership. Patrick Dillon's the trainer. 2 wins in just 3 starts. One Lucky Beach, and Primetime Bob McClure takes race number 1, 156 flat. First race payouts. 3-1 Lucky Beach, 370, 280, 220. 7 LD's Hunter, $4, 290. 4 Dancing in the Dark, 240. $2 Exactor, $14.80. Dollar Try, $19.10. Dollar Super, $42.50. 20-cent Super, $8.50. First race, where we finish from the top. 541 396 278. That's 541 396 278 on the bottom.
All right, we're 3 minutes to post time. Race number 2 of 10. That's right, 10 races tonight with a loaded card, pop-up series, and 4 $90,000 Ontario Sire Stakes Gold events starting up here. Race number 2 with the 2-year-old trotting fillies, field of 5. And so let's get right to it. Ticket ideas for an early pick 4. $2,500 guaranteed pool here. Part of the go-to wagering menu. I'm using 2 timeless as well as 5. Cher Hill will stay on the single. Number 5, PL Aussie in the third, fresh off his track record performance at Kawartha Downs. Back to more OSS Gold in race 4. That being for the Colts and Geldings, the 2-year-olds. 1, 3, 5, and 6. Touched by an Angel DA Mastermind, the Green Gazoo, and Crunching the Odds. And we'll go deepest to ball in race number 5 with 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. In to go for just $8 on the 20-cent wager. Again, a $2,500 Guaranteed pool here. Gary Guy, his best go on the early pick four. Let's bring it up. Gonna stay in a singles. Singles up to five. Cher Hill, singles up to five. PL Aussie in races 2 and 3. Four deep in the fourth race's top selection there with six crunching the odds. Blake McIntosh having a great season with his horses, especially the stake horses for Blake McIntosh. He's sending out six, crunching the odds. Race four, Gary also including the 2-3-5. And on the end of it for Gary, his top selection there was four, Fire Control. Also including three, Bet I Will, and 310, Teguma. There we go. $2.40. Gary Guy going light, going thin on this early pick four. Conley Ecclestone, one more ticket. We'll bring it up for Conley, friend of the show, of course. 4 deep for Conley, the opening leg. 1, 2, 4, and 5. Steele with the single. 5, PL Aussie, and he third. He's back to a pair of them in the fourth. They're using one touch by an angel. 4, First Class Mass. And on the end of it for Conley, he's with 3, Bet I Will, and 9, Dancing on the Drive. And it's just $3.20 if you want to play along with Conley Ecclestone on the 20-cent wager for the early pick four. A little over a minute. Next voice you'll hear will be track announcer Gary Guy.
And fans, while we have a moment, I'd like to welcome Paul and Sue O'Leary. Paul and Sue O'Leary are visiting from St. John's, New Brunswick. Good luck from your friends back home. Hope you enjoy your night at Grand River. Paul and Sue O'Leary joining us from New Brunswick. Field 4, race number 2 on Post Parade. 1, Social Wizard. To the board for Benoit Bayou, Jean Tom, and Elizabeth Rankin. Number 2 is Timeless. Todd Ratchford from Matthew Bax and Bax Stable and Glengate Farms. And number 3, Figuratively. Tyler Jones for Dustin Jones and Frank Brundle and Golden Bear Racing. And number 4 is HB Crystalline, Louis Bois for Chantel Mitchell and Claude Amal and J.D. Pelche. And number 5, Cher Hill. It's Doug McNair for Greg McNair and Tom Hill. Field of 5, race number 2. This is OSS Gold action for trotting fillies. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, there is Cher Hill, 4-5 on the board. And Cher Hill getting a large share of the wagering action.
You bet. As mentioned earlier, a lot of the big name drivers are into allure this evening for the Ontario Sire Stakes Gold action. You'll see many of the Woodbine Mohawk Park regulars, including a guy like this, Doug McNair, that loves to win at Grand River Raceway. And he'll get a great shot on board this 5, Cher Hill, 2-year-old daughter of Muscle Mass, ventured down to Lexington for a couple of races, rolled off stride on the August 11th start, but came from way back following up a hot half of 54 flat for 2-year-old trotting fillies, right? So, of course, she gets up to take a new mark in 54 and won in the final strides. Her latest gold victory there was a pretty sharp one when racing along up close. Really nice final half in there, 56-4. She looks great. I like her body language here, and a win tonight puts her well over $100,000 in career earnings.
Yeah, and look, I mentioned earlier that maybe Greg wouldn't have a chance to catch up in terms of the overall wins, but he could. He's three back. Well, he could make it two back right here after a good strong showing here with the favorite. So
Mm-hmm.
certainly a big possibility. Number two, Timeless, one of the two that you used on your pick five, and four starts. Certainly been good in each of the last three after just a fifth in a maiden class, and then a grassroots win, and now a couple starts in the gold.
Right, it's been first, second, and third in OSS action, though the victory was in a grassroots race. Second and third in gold action. Does show 55, 56 in the latest two, so for sure going in the right direction. Making the fifth career start. This daughter of Green Manalishi, and yes, indeed, kind of laggy, kind of long, and an honest trotter as well. I'm not seeing X throughout her program lines.
Yeah, and it's interesting how the sires stamp their horses because the Green
Yeah,
Manalishis all look almost identical, and there's one that looks just like the Green Manalishi style. Matthew Bax
yeah.
training this one, and Todd Ratchford. But this is certainly one that they started off slowly and have gained confidence in, and so Timeless
Mm-hmm.
is the one that you had the most confidence in using against a favorite. Not that you took this one on top, but underneath, and
Right.
had a little
My
coverage in that
plan
pick
B.
five. Yeah, the plan B, and sometimes you got to have a plan B. My lack of a plan B sometimes gets
Oh,
me in trouble, but hey, so does a lot of other stuff. Number four,
you
HB
know,
Chris.
this
Yeah, go ahead.
filly, Gary, I should add, she looks great. So calm and cool, collected prior to the race. Timeless could be sitting on a real big one right here. I just love her body language as well. Just so calm and cool.
And there's one that also had four starts, just like number two, Timeless. And Louis Wash, Chantel Mitchell, is one that does already show 55 and 1, finishing third in a gold August the 4th. So HB Crystalline and is second to Timeless. Look, there's a comparison. Second beaten half a length to Timeless, and this one was way back July the 14th and in that grassroots and closed up to be close with Timeless. So a very solid one,
Hmm.
HB Crystalline.
Yeah, she's all right. A daughter of alarm detector here. The more I look at this race, the more I'm thinking you're going to see lots of improvement from the one, two, three, four. They've got to go some to go with the five, Sheer Hill. But this is turning out to be an evenly matched gold event. I'm really liking this, and the betters would agree with that as well. I mean, no real clear cut favorite. There is a favorite at 3-2. No real clear cut long shot, but there is a long shot at 6-1. They're all evenly bet here, Gary.
Well, we'll talk about that 6-1 then, and this is one that makes a second start after missing some time due to sickness, but has been competitive in gold in a couple of starts.
Yeah, missed more than 3 weeks prior to the latest. Has gotten a check every time when going behind the gate. So needed that last start, back half 58. Expect a little more from this one coming from the Jones camp.
And the one horse is mad at us because, well, he's made the top two in 4 out of 5 starts, and we didn't even talk
Yeah.
about him. And it's Tyler Borth and Benoit Bailladejas. So if he wins, he's got right to be mad at us.
I always like to say, we've talked about the rest, and maybe we haven't talked about the best. Number one, the Social Wizard, another daughter of Alarm Detector, has been first and second in each of the last three.
And, Social Wizard with an inside spot with Timeless in the center, figuratively, to the outside, HB Crystalline and Cher Hill. It is a field of 5 for the second race. OSS Gold Trotting Fillies. Field for the second race is at the start, and they're off and leaving out Timeless, HB Crystalline on the inside, Social Wizard, then Cher Hill, and figuratively, but right now Social Wizard inside advantage, pressing on HB Crystalline, and then racing third is Timeless, and Cher Hill is still on the outside, and then figuratively, and HB Crystalline now is able to come on for Louis Bois and grab the lead as they race up to the quarter. Advantage is a length and a half. Social Wizard is second, and Timeless is racing third as they come off the turn. Then HB Crystalline and Figuratively off at 27-4 opening quarter. HB Crystalline and Louis Bois has the front, and that's Social Wizard. Timeless third. Then Cher Hill, the 3-5 favorite, has just one beaten, and that is Figuratively. And they race their way up towards the half off the 27-4 opening quarter. HB Crystalline and Louis Bois is racing on still a lead of a length and a half, with Social Wizard enjoying the view in the pocket. Timeless now is done with the time on the inside, is going to move up and is coming on and is dueling to take second from Social Wizard, has second and is bearing down on HB Crystalline up at 58-2 halftime with a 30-3 second panel breather. HB Crystalline will try to hold off Timeless and may have to deal with Cher Hill now, who's kicking in a little bit. It's still spotted second over on the inside. Social Wizard third, Cher Hill fourth, and fifth is Figuratively. 3/4, 127-4. HB Crystalline leads by about two. Timeless, and then Cher Hill is coming on. Gamely now is unleashed, but has a lot of work to do because HB Crystalline is the turn from, and then Cher Hill made a break in stride. On down the stretch drive, HB Crystalline. Timeless is chasing, but HB Crystalline is not getting any urging. HB Crystalline will win it. Timeless second, then Social Wizard, and Figuratively. HB Crystalline was very good, was able to get the lead and keep on going. I'm not sure if Cher Hill would have caught this one, but then it didn't materialize as a challenge anyway because, Cher Hill made that break in stride around the top of the stretch coming on.
Yeah, I don't think they were going to beat this filly tonight. She was definitely on go to break her maiden in OSS Gold action. She pretty much had things all her own way. She got a nice breather through the second quarter where it was 30-3, and then she was 29-2 through the third frame, and again 30-3 on the end of it. And Louis never lifted a line.
Yeah, that Cher Hill certainly had a big turn of foot, so one to look at into the future, but just still had a lot of work to do because this is one that got the fractions that worked out, and Louis Waugh put this one in play early. And that's also when you get a field of five, you get kind of left alone on the lead, and
Yeah.
that's a big factor in a more compact field. Who gets the lead has got a bigger chance to win than a larger field.
Yeah, I think Doug McNair with the favorite, Cher Hill, he had her up on gate. He was maybe going to try to leave with her, but he looked to the left, and there was two or three others that were going to be leaving sharply in there. And you know what? He just eased her on out of there, floated on out of there, was pretty much parked to the quarter mile when finding room to get to the end to sit fourth. But even when making a move on the outside, kind of gapped on cover, and there may have been a big move coming when spinning for home just before rolling off stride. But I don't think he was going to get there. I don't think they were beating this HP Crystalline on go this evening.
Well, we took a 3-5 horse out of that pick five, and
Right.
also out of a lot of people might have started off their pick four with Cher Hill. Your second best one, Timeless, did turn out to be second best, and actually was 8-1 on the board.
Race pretty good. That plan B would have looked good on top, but like I said, this horse of Louis won quite easy. It appears he kind of just let her roll on her own through the stretch. Not a whole lot of urging required. None, really. HP Crystalline. What a way to break the maiden. $90,000 OSS Gold event.
Yeah, bumped it up from the 24,000. Now puts up some serious coin onto that record. And back in front of us, there is a look at number 4, HB Crystalline, a 2-year-old alarm detector bay filly, owned by Claude Amel and Jean-Denis Peltier. Chantal Mitchell, the trainer. Louis-Philippe Roy, the winning drive. First win for HB Crystalline, 158-2. Second race, number 4, HB Crystalline. 10, 460, and 360. 2 Timeless, 680, 340, and 1 Social Wizard, 320. $2 Exactor, 55.30. Dollar Try, 56.65. Dollar Super, 113.40. 20-cent Super, 22.68. And double of 3 and 4, 37.80. Second race, so we're finished from the top. 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. That's 3, 2, 4, 1, 5 on the bottom.
Are you dreaming of a career with horses? The Ontario Equine Education and Employment Program is here to help. If you're an Ontario resident, you can take our free course and turn your passion into a profession. And employers can register for the program and receive wage subsidies, 50% for up to 18 weeks, or a maximum of $5,000. It's a win-win for job seekers and businesses alike. ready to take the reins? Visit OntarioEquineEducation.com today and start your journey in the equine industry.
Fans note in race number 4, number 3, DA Mastermind, driver to be announced. Field for the third on post parade. Number 2 is No Plan Intended, livery small for Terry Gillette and Calvin Kepfer. Number 3, written in stone, tell the both for Brenda Duncan and David Duncan. 4 is Bearcat Willie, Mike Horner, drives and trains and owns. Number 6, Prestige Sealster, Daryl Thiessen for Lindsey Kerr and Sally Charlton.
One's up.
Number 1, Magical Arthur, Anthony Hunt for Sean Stacy and David Lumsden.
Five's up.
And number 5 is PL Aussies, Sammy Filia for Amanda Riley and Brian Campbell and Barry McLennan. Field of 6, race number 3, well, I didn't have to look at this race very long to decide who I liked the most. That 150-1 at Kawartha last time out, it just kind of jumped right off the page at me, Sugar.
Yeah, when PL Aussie is right and wants to bring his A game, that's what he's capable of. I mean, I believe he's gone down to PEI for the Gold Cup and Saucer, and he's done all kinds of good things. Was claimed for the $50,000 tag late July, so there was no trip to Prince Edward Island this summer, so moved on to new connections. And what happened to him? Well, he broke a track record at Kawartha Downs, 150-1. I mean, he's coming in off a big one, right? I mean, if he could duplicate that performance over Grand River Raceway, I'm thinking that would be sub 150 speed.
Yeah, and then we might have to be paying attention for track record because 49-4.
Yeah.
You know that it doesn't have to go much more. 49-4, and I do believe this track is faster than Kawartha's. So, but the thing is, you kind of got to be pushed along. Although, really, if you look at that last race, he wasn't pushed along. He just got hot and kept on going.
Yeah, he had them by 5 at the half. He does not need a passenger. He does not need a presser. I mean, he looks good. If Sammy can wind him up at the start, and should he get down to a half and say 53-ish like he did last time out, track record watch for sure.
Well, there is right now PL Aussie scoring bias too. He looks like he's got intention to get rocking and rolling. Maybe he wants 2 different track records. And, Magical Arthur is one that's put a few dollars in the bank account. Winless this year. But if he can get off the gate, well, he might be able to sit a pocket ride.
Yeah, I mean, over $400,000 career earnings. When I looked at that, I looked at his win total lifetime. I thought he'd have more victories. So he must have did a heck of a job back in his 2- and 3-year-old seasons, picking up lots of checks, second and third best finishes in stakes action. Nice horse. And finally, a decent post to work with. I'm not saying the rail is an advantage at Grand River Raceway, but for a horse like this, maybe it's better than the outside gates he's been that he's drawn this summer at the river.
I think the one piece of advice, though, is sometimes if you get one that's so running away on the lead, don't stay up too close because sometimes that can kill the horse sitting second, even though the one on top keeps on going. So you kind of got to maybe run your own race in that sense.
But, rate a mile for the deuce.
Yeah, No Plan Intended is one that, has been off since January 11th, so I'm not sure what the plan might be. But yet when you look at the back half of that qualifier, kind of think maybe I know that the plan is that this one's ready to go.
Okay, obviously there's been some issues because he's only got 5 starts in like the last almost 2 years. So with a horse like this, he comes his back half and 55-3 in the qualifier. I think you just have to let him roll and get what you can, do what you can while he's sound enough to race. Because, again, obviously there's been some issues with him over the last couple of years. So the qualifier says he's ready to go. Terry Gallant conditioned and Larry Small drove him in that qualifier. So I would expect a pretty good outing from this one tonight.
And he's gotten around Charlottetown in 54-1 back in the middle of December. It's not exactly warm and beautiful in December in Charlottetown to get around that half-mile track. Mm-hmm. So, and this one's got big money also. Number 3, Written in Stone. This is one you got away with winning. The last one on the page, June the 20th there, that 8-1. That was your top pick that day.
Yeah, we got one home on that day. I'll tell you what, this horse is in over his head this evening. He'll do well to finish 4th with these. I don't see him getting anything more than that. Absolutely 0 gate speed here.
Well, he just drew into a really tough spot, but you only have to beat a couple to get a 4th, so maybe that's possible. But Magical Arthur, No Plan Intended on the inside. Written in Stone, Bearcat Willie in the center, the outside PL Aussie, and Prestige Sealster. It's It's a field of 6 for the third dash. They're at the start of the rough. And it is Pialazzi who's going to blast out. Prestige Sealster, then racing third right now is No Plan Intended, and then Magical Arthur is fourth away, Written in Stone and Bearcat Willie. But right now Pialazzi is doing the work on the lead, 1-9 on the board, and has a lead of about 2.5 for 3. No Plan Intended second, Magical Arthur third, then Prestige Sealster, Written in Stone, and Bearcat Willie is trailing the field. Pialazzi in command. 26-second opening quarter, and then it is No Plan Intended, and Pialazzi is just freewheeling it on top and looking very alert. Sammy Filia letting that one roll a little. No Plan Intended is second, Magical Arthur is third, then Prestige Sealster and Written in Stone, and Bearcat Willie is trailing. Off that strong opening quarter at 26, Pialazzi just continues on. Pialazzi is marched out to a lead of about 4, widens the gap and is on fire and is going to keep on rolling, attacking the track record, possibly 54 and 1 halftime. No Plan Intended, Magical Arthur, Prestige Sealster to the outside, then Written in Stone and Bearcat Willie, and Pialazzi and Sammy Filia has opened a lead of about 9 or 10. Prestige Sealster takes second. No Plan Intended third, Magical Arthur to the outside fourth, 3/4, 121 and 3. Written in Stone second last in Bearcat Willie, but the story is all Pialazzi and the clock. Pialazzi off 3/4, 121 and 3, and as they come on down the stretch drive, and it is all Pialazzi putting on a show, and Pialazzi is flashing wizardry as they come to the finish. Pialazzi against the clock, and Pialazzi, it's going to be a mile of 150 and 2. Then Prestige Sealster, Written in Stone, and Magical Arthur 1-9 on the board. Really was just a show of Pialazzi against the clock, and that's all it was, Sugar.
Indeed, against the clock was all it was. Wow, did he ever let him roll down the backstretch? That long straightaway where he got that third quarter clocked up in 27 and 2. And the way he looked turning for home, I didn't think he was flashing, 28 speed on the end. He was, the strides were shortening up. He was, maybe he could have used a prompter with him through the final quarter there. But still, a very sharp winning mile for an age pacer over the river. 150 and 2, multiple length winner. And then you've got Prestige Sealster, well back in second. Hey, Written in Stone, the closer, up for third in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the horses that maybe went just out a little bit too much, Written in Stone was able to pick up some pieces as we got to it. We certainly didn't think that he fit anywhere against Pialazzi, but neither did anybody else.
Nobody else. Prestige Sealster surprised me. I mean, I always thought that horse raced well on the lead, but he made a big move. He was passing horses when Pialazzi was putting up that third quarter in 27 and a bit. So good on Prestige Sealster for co-owner trainer Lindsay Kerr, Daryl Thiessen. Very nice dudes behind a very fast horse.
It shows you how fast this track is also. I didn't think they were going that much early when it came 26.
Oh,
I
no.
thought, really? Were they going that quick? Or not they, how about him?
26, this horse made it look like 29. 54 and 1 made it look like 56. This horse has got a big, long gait to him. He does it so easy.
Yeah, well, back in front of us, and easy to pick on top at 1-9 Pialazzi. 7-year-old Sunshine Beach Bay horse owned by Bryn Campbell and Barry McLennan. Amanda Riley, the trainer. Sammy Filia, the winning driver. 5th win for Pialazzi. Mile of 150 and 2. Fans note in race number 4, number 3, DA Mastermind. The driver's Austin Sorey. Race 4, 3, DA Mastermind, Austin Sorey. The third race payouts. Pialazzi, 210, 210, 210. 6 Prestige Sealster, 480 and 380 and 3 written in stone, 820. $2 exactor, 720. $1 Rye, 53.90. $1 Super, 72.95. 20 cents Super, 14.59. Third race, or finish from the top. 463-512. That's 463-512 on the bottom. Field on post parade for the fourth OSS Gold. 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings. One touched by an angel. Doug McNair for Robert Kyle Fellows, Linda Fellows, Blair Corbeil, Mike McAllister, and Peter Porter. Number 2 is Tavern on the Green. Louis Watt for Luke Bland, Determination Stable. Number 3, DA Mastermind, Austin Sorry for Kyle Bossons. And number 4 is First Class Mass, Jody Jameson for Dave Maneri and Clint Guitard and Harriot Stables. Number 5, the Green Gazoo, Trevor Henry for Clark Bealby and Coyote Wind Farms. And number 6, Crunch in the Odds, James Montana for Blake McIntosh and Glenn Dyke. And number 7, Trouble with Names, Bob McClure for Paul Reed and Patrick Dillon and Patty Hoskin. Field of 7, race number 4, OSS Gold, 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings. Let's get a look at it. 4-1 right now, Crunch in the Odds. We both have James McDonald for Blake McIntosh as our top one, Sugar.
Yeah, surprisingly, not a favorite. Not even the second favorite here, as third choice currently with number 2, Tavern on the Green. So Crunch in the Odds, going out for trainer Blake McIntosh, who's having a great season in stakes action, was racing in the almost $500,000 William Wellwood in the latest, where he picked up a check to finish 5th. He was 4th in his elimination heat, and the last time he had a victory would have been in OSS Gold, and that was back on August 7th, riding along up close to winning 54-2, his life best, and looking really good here. James McDonald, the call for number 6, Crunch in the Odds.
A Green Man, Alicia. Look, that was post 10 also in that Wellwood final, so the post position draw didn't help any, 79-1, but right now 9-2. Number 1, Touched by an Angel, Doug McNair for Robert Kyle Fellows. This one was in the Wellwood as well in that final, and finished 4th, and actually finished 1 spot in front of Crunch in the Odds.
Yeah, pretty solid trainer around the river. Kyle Fellows does the conditioning here. It's going to be Doug McNair on board. Just a 1 second best finish, but has banked all over $75,000 this season. Another one that raced in the William Wellwood, finishing 4th, so coming ahead of number 6 in the latest in that big William Wellwood final.
Number 3, DA Mastermind, to get Austin Sorry with the catch drive here, and for Kyle Bossons. And this is one that raced in that Wellwood, the elimination, and blasted to the front, but then tired because of it. DA Mastermind, though, does have a couple of thirds, and you do see this one being competitive in back-to-back golds before that try in the Wellwood elimination.
Yes, indeed. You mentioned the Green Man Alishi stamp. Well, the muscle mass, I don't think there's another horse in harness racing that I know of. I can't think of one who stamps them more than muscle mass. I mean, we've got some videos over the last week or so with horses entered into the London Classic yearling sale, and the muscle masses, you just know when you see them. And this one's got that look as well. D8 Mastermind, for sure, one to consider in here. Just in a little bit too tough in that William Wellwood elimination heat.
Yeah, and they're appropriately named muscle mass because very muscled up, very thick, and they look strong. They don't. I mean, it doesn't look like a 2-year-old. This is one that already looks like a more aged horse, and yet we're into just August.
And this is what we
or September.
This is what we said about the yearling videos we get in. I mean, all the muscle mass. Well, all the yearlings that we've seen thus far on video, all showing thick. They're all eating well, and they're in great shape coming up for the sale.
Well, I think you and I must be both by muscle mass then. The Green Gazoo, August the 7th. Look, in a gold, this is one that was second, beaten just 3/4. Maybe the Green Gazoo is one that at the end of this mile we'd be yelling yabba dabba doo.
Yeah, it's a nice price, right? 19-1, longest shot on the board. Trevor Henry, great set of trotting hands. Going to be first time, Trevor, for this Clark Bealby trainee. I do like that deuce. Two back in OSS Gold action, a trip in 55 and one. The best chance for this one is to find a spot up close. If there's any gate leaving that this horse is capable of, would love to see him sitting in the front three. uh, yeah, another son of Green Manalici, right? Does have the victory and does have the second best finish as well from just four outings this season.
Note that the 4 went back to the paddock for an equipment adjustment. I
Okay.
want to talk about number 2, Tavern on the Green, another one of those big-priced yearling purchases by determination, 312,000, and well, 4 starts, just 1/3, but was third in a gold and third to crunching the odds.
Yeah, I got a qualifier in late June and then took a few weeks away due to sickness. Made it to the races late July and was a pretty good check getter up until the latest when he finished well back in that Rich William Wellwood stake final. Um, does show 27 flat, two back, 55 and four, trip over Woodbine Mohawk Park. Maybe he finds a nice and easy trip in here. I mean, maybe the hot early fractions and that trip in 52 and 4, of course, would have been just too much for him last time.
And there we see Bob McClure with trouble with names. And by the way, I should have mentioned the names of Ryder McClure and Jace McClure. They were out trackside with Bob in the first race, and maybe some
Nice.
future drivers because, well, if you look at this field of drivers, they're all sons of either trainers or drivers, and so maybe we'll be looking at Ryder and Jace McClure in about 15, 20 years.
Right on. Might happen. Number six kind of fighting a little with James McDonald here going behind the gate.
Well, we'll see how this unfolds. It is an OSS Gold for 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings, and number 6, the crunch in the odds, is getting up into position now, still needing to move in on the inside, Touched by an Angel and Tavern on the Green, but now they're all striding on into position. It's a field of 7 for race number 4. They're at the start of the rough, and Trouble with Names is going to lead with Crunch in the odds, and then also getting out DA Mastermind. But right now, Trouble with Names is having no trouble to grab the lead. The Green Gazoo, and then DA Mastermind went off stride and is trying to find a way to safely get to the outside, and is able to do so now. But second is the Green Gazoo in behind Trouble with Names. Trouble with Names at 3-1. The Green Gazoo is racing second, Touched by an Angel is third, and then Tavern on the Green, and then it is back further to Crunch in the odds as they race their way on towards us, and then we have First Class Mass, and way back DA Mastermind with that break in stride, but off a 27 opening quarter. It is Trouble with Names and Primetime Bob with the lead as they race on up towards the half. The Green Gazoo is racing position second. Then it is Touched by an Angel and racing fourth. Tavern on the Green. Crunch of the Odds is fifth and with work to do in front of First Cast Mass, and they race their way half of 57 and 1. Trouble with Names is leading the Green Gazoo right there into the pocket. There goes Touched by an Angel now, is moving out for Doug McNair and is only about 2 1/4 from the lead. Then Tavern on the Green. Crunch of the Odds is fifth, and then sixth is First Class Mass, and Trouble with Names still leading. They raced to the half in 57-1, 3/4 for a Trouble with Names in 126 and 1:29 third panel. The Green Gazoo is right there close on the back of Trouble with Names and Touched by an Angel, Tavern on the Green, and Crunch in the Odds. And the field turns for home. Trouble with Names as they turn on down the stretch ride. Leads it by a length and a half, and on the inside, driving up the inside, the Green Gazoo. Trouble with Names and the Green Gazoo, and on the outside, Tavern on the Green as they come to the finish. It is a close finish, but up the inside, getting there was the Green Gazoo over Trouble with Names, 156 and 3. Up the passing lane, the Green Gazoo. Yabba dabba doo, sugar.
Right on. First time, Trevor Henry on board the Green Gazoo. And you know what? We mentioned if he could find a spot up close to the front three, he'd likely fare well. Well, he had a pocket ride. He got some room at the end for that passing lane through the stretch. And then he gets up in time to score Ontario Sire Stakes Gold here in 156-3. Never better. Never better than he was tonight. 156-3 winner. You know what? Green Manalishi, half hobbles on this one. Still got a big, long reach and kind of a muscular type 2-year-old boy here. And I liked his look. I mean, he looked live when turning for home, and sure enough, up in time for victory.
And 56-3 equals a track record to 2-year-old trotters
Nice.
with You Got It Kemp and Pierre in Paris. So now makes it a threesome there at 56-3. And the filly record is also the same. Medley Sealster also at 56-3. So they seem to love that number, and that's just the right number that Trevor Henry needed, 56-3.
Indeed. Well, we've got a couple of more events to go for these 2-year-old trotters tonight, so a good shot to maybe see another one or two lower that mark even further, or maybe, like you said, they love that number. Maybe they tie it again.
And Trouble with Names is one that didn't have the credentials of racing in gold, but was a winner in a grassroots. Well, we might see him in more gold action.
Yeah, he raced well. I mean, he had a great getaway off the car, and he looked large going up to 3/4, but didn't have an answer for the long shot, right? The Green Gazoo with the 18-1 upset here.
That'll take a lot of people out of that pick five. We'll see when we see the
Certainly
payouts
will.
for the will pays for the fifth race. But well, Trevor Henry's won a couple races here at Grand River over the years.
Oh,
Back in,
I would say.
Yeah, back in front of us. There's Trevor. He's smiling away. The Green Gazoo, 2-year-old Green Manalishi, brown gelding by Coyote Wind Farms and Clark Bealby. Clark is the trainer. Trevor Henry, the winning driver. Second win for the Green Gazoo. Mile of 156-3 equals a track record at Grand River. The fourth race payouts 5. The Green Gazoo, $38.60, $12.470. 7 Trouble with Names, $7.80 and $4.80 and 2. Tavern on the Green, $3.40. $2 Actor, $296.40 price, $690.55. $1 Superfected, $2,407.20. 20 cents Super, $481.44. fourth race. Order of finish from the top, 6374152. That is a 6374152.
Are you dreaming of a career with horses? The Ontario Equine Education and Employment Program is here to help. If you're an Ontario resident, you can take our free course and turn your passion into a profession. And employers can register for the program and receive wage subsidies, 50% for up to 18 weeks, or a maximum of $5,000. It's a win-win for job seekers and businesses alike. Ready to take the reins? Visit OntarioEquineEducation.com today and start your journey in the equine industry.
Field for the fifth race on Parade 1. It's Speedo time. Gary Brevet for Laverne Turnbull. Number 2 is 13 to Yuma, Daryl Thiessen for Mitchell Tierney and L.A. Stafford. Number 3, Bet I Will Austin Sorry for Anthony Beaton and Hut Racing. And 4, Fire Control, Scott Young for David Fry. Five is Stay Humble, Todd Ratchford for Austin McEnany and David Ducharme and Zachary Zanuzzi. Number 7, Freightful of Gold, Jody Jameson for Jessica Hayter and Edward Hayter. 8 is Whitmere Perfetto, James Madonna for Riley Simpson and Shen Go. And 9, Dancing on the Drive, Damian McClellan for Rachel Andrew and Ralph Jardine and Kevin Jardine. Field of 8, race number 5. Let's get a look at this. And, number 4, Fire Control, getting a lot of love at 3 to 5 on the board. But, the problem last time out is some early breaks extinguished his chances. But you know what? Made a huge recovery to come back and come from 5th at the top of the stretch to finish 2nd after spotting the field. He was 18 lengths back at the quarter.
Oh, yeah, and he was still way back at the half. I went back for the replay, and yes, indeed, he made a break, kind of getting away, and then he got back down pacing, and then he made another break that had him even further back. I don't know what it was. I don't know if he was touching himself or a little close up front. But when he found his groove, I mean, he 28 seconds through the second and third and fourth quarter in there to finish a bang-up second in 157. I mean, if he doesn't break, he capable of pacing a trip maybe in 53 or 54. That's how much ground he made up. So he's going to have to get away cleanly, must mind the manners. But if he can stay flat throughout, gets a big shot at breaking the maiden here, even money. He's a heavy favorite to complete all the multi-leg wagers. The pick 5, the pick 4, the pick 3. The favorites are the 4, 3, 5, and 2 in that order for all 3 of those multi-legs.
Yeah, the middle of the pack, the 4, 3, 5 seemed to be especially, and then you added in the 2. But look, number 3, Bet I Will, is your second choice, and got off to a bit of a slower start to his career. But then the last 3 races, a second, a third, and then a third where was placed back here. So has been better since that rest and then coming back. Has been better in this aspect of his career since the layoff.
Yeah, he was out there and got shut down prior to the spring. So a few months off to freshen up, did the qualifier over the big track, and then came over to Grand River Raceway to pick up the deuce. Then he was at third place, fourth, and then third in the latest over Kawartha Downs. Austin Sawyer goes back on board, gets a big shot to contend with these.
Number 5, Stay Humble, is a 4-year-old that's had just one start, and it was June the 30th at Pocono. So this is one now that is in with Austin McEnany, a trainer change. Had been with Tony Alagna, and Stay Humble. We'll see what this one has. But you do see some, when you look down the page, you see some decent qualifying speed at the Meadowlands.
Well, you know what? Tony Alagna's got some very nice horses, and this horse obviously wasn't fitting the program. So maybe this horse goes from way down on the totem pole to being up and being looked after by trainer Austin McEnany now, maybe getting lots of attention and maybe will round into form for this barn now. Todd Ratchford pops on board, and we'll look for a little more from Stay Humble. First time for this Austin McEnany.
There's a 9, Dancing on the Drive, all decked out in red, including the red and black of Damian McClellan for Rachel Andrew. One that has got only one top 3 finish in 11 starts. But the last race here, it got out well, sat the pocket, and stuck around for a 4th.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good check getter since returning. Another one that missed a bit of time, came back for the qualifier over Grand River Raceway, gets around this track well. A trailing spot to overcome, but one to consider adding into that high 5 play.
Waiting for James McDonald to show up here. He's having such another monster year. Not just a monster year, but another one. Whitmere Perfetto, Riley Simpson, outside post, and this is one that was scratch sick and didn't race well last time out, so we're still waiting on this one. But 23 to 1 would really rack up that pick 5.
Not often you will see James McDonald at 23-1 on a track in Ontario. So here we go.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's a field of 8, race number 5, and they're headed towards the start. It's Speedo Time at 13 to Yuma on the inside of the center. Bet I Will, Fire Control, Stay Humble. Outside, Freight Full of Gold, Woodmere Perfetto. Second tier, Dancing on the Drive. It's a field of 8 for the 5th race. They're at the start of the rough, and Freight Full of Gold is going to leave out, and then Freight Full of Gold went off stride, and now it is Woodmere Perfetto driving for James McDonald, and then Bet I Will, 13 to Yuma, and Stay Humble, and then it is a Dancing on the Drive, who's danced from the second tier to race 4th right now, and then it's Speedo Time, Stay Humble, back further Fire Control, and then Freight Full of Gold, but right now Woodmere Perfetto at 30-1 for James McDonald's got the lead as they race off a quarter of 27-4, head up towards the half, and now striding on the outside and coming on gamely. 13 to Yuma is moving up now and is going to grab the chooch, and 13 to Yuma leads by about 2 1/4. Woodmere Perfetto, Bet I Will. Now there goes Fire Control, who was just eased back early and is now moving a bit on the outside, and then on the inside it's Speedo Time, but it is 13 to Yuma. Right now leads long shot Woodmere Perfetto by about 4 lengths, and then Fire Control on the outside is steadily progressing. Then Bet I Will. It's Speedo Time, Freight Full of Gold, and Fire Control is coming on now. Fire Control 13 to Yuma. 13 to Yuma. There goes Fire Control about to fire on by. And they head on by 3/4, and it is Fire Control who's quickly grabbed the lead. 13 to Yuma, Bet I Will. Then it's Speedo Time. Woodmere Perfetto is backed away to 5th, and now coming late, Stay Humble. But Fire Control is eased around the turn and is out wide just to make it easier, and getting some tapping by Scott Young. Just stay attent as they race their way on down the stretch drive, and it is Fire Control and Bet I Will. Fire Control coming to the finish, and now coasting. Bet I Will second, Stay Humble third, Freight Full of Gold, and 13 to Yuma. 156-3. Fire Control and Scotty Young drove this one because of the brakes and stride last time out early. Very conservative early, and didn't matter because when it was go time, it was really go time sugar.
Yeah, Scott was in no hurry in the early going at all. I mean, he parked, he floated this horse on out of there like 3 deep through the whole first turn. He's even 3 deep going by the grandstand and kept him wide. And then the horse gets a little green going into the final turn, and he's out in the 3 wide path again. So for a maiden mark of 56-3, he probably paced a 54 trip there quite easy. And we mentioned he was more than capable of doing that because if he doesn't break last time out, that's pretty much what his mile was going to be. So there's some talent there, but there's still some greenness too.
Well, one thing, you don't have to stay in your lane if there's nobody near you because your lane is whatever lane you want. You could be 7 wide at the finish if that just works for you. But there's nobody near. Fire Control as Scotty Young just looks over at the tote board and says, I see. They bet me. Fire Control. Well, they should have.
Yeah, he was in London in the spring. Definitely not a half-mile type horse that I can see now. And he might do pretty good when getting back to the big track of Woodbine Mohawk Park. Again, still a little bit green when bending around the turns there on the 5/8 track at Grand River Raceway. But nice to see him break his maiden, and a patient, very patient steer by Scott Young just kept him to task and kept him out of trouble.
Yeah, his ears are up, and he's saying, I think that a bigger track would suit me well because I'm not handy for the little turns at London.
Right. 4-3-5. Horse players had it dead on.
4-3-5-7-2. Back in front of us is number 4, Fire Control. Fire Control's a 3-year-old control at the moment, being held by David Fry, who's also the trainer. Scott Young had the answer in the 5th. It's a first win for Fire Control, 156-3. Fifth race payouts for Fire Control, 520, 320, and 280. 3 Bet I Will, 360, 290. 5 Stay Humble, $3. $2 exactor, 15.80. Dollar Shrine, 24.45. Dollar High Five, 373.75. 20-cent High Five, 74.75. Pick 3. Dollar Ticket, 45.15. Dollar Pick 4, 301.80. Dollar Pick 5, 634.55. Fifth race, or for a finish from the top, 75213 scratch 486. That's 75213 scratch 486 on the bottom.
Welcome back, folks. The back half of this Wednesday evening program at Grand River Raceway. We're set to kick it off. This back half with a late pick 5. And again, we've got the Ontario Sire Stakes Gold event. This one For the 2-year-old trotting fillies, $90,000 purse up for grabs. Some very nice trotting fillies involved here in race number 6, the opening leg of a late pick 5. We'll get some ticket ideas now. We'll bring them up. I've got one, as well as one for Gary Guy and Conley Ecclestone. My selections here in the opening leg of the pick 5. Of course, we're going to use the current favorite, Bingo Night. Also, the 5, Flowing Tribute, who's a 3-time winner from 4 outings this season. Number 3, Barbara May, is going to be my plan C in this late pick 5 opening leg. Race 7, we're using 3, Ideal Perception, as well as 6, Sabalese in the pop-up series. Over to race number 8, we're on the 1, 2, and 5, the final OSS Gold event for the 2-year-old trotters tonight, being another great mass, Strobe Light, and number 5, Mass Deployment. 9th race, back on the pace for the pop-up series, How You Play the Game, who I thought might sweep this pop-up series. Well, he's going to be in tough with 3. Artie's Ideal in there. So 2 and 3 for me in the 9th. 10th and the final race of the night, I'm using a 157, Jim's First Date, Benjamin B., and also Master of Fire. I'm in for 2160 on the 20 center. And quickly on to Gary Guy's late pick 5 ticket idea. What does Gary have in store? He does have a single. He's 3 deep the opening leg. 1 and 3 in the 7th, 4 and 6 in the 8th. He does single up in the 9th race, number 3. Artie's Ideal, a single against How You Play the Game. Over to race number 10, Gary goes to 3, Smoothie's Delight, and 7, Master of Fire. No 1 for Gary in the finale. $4.80 on a 20-cent wager. One more ticket quickly for Conley. Conley Ecclestone in his late pick 5. 4 deep the opening leg. He singles up number 6, Sabalese in race 7. Back to 4 deep in race 8. Down to a pair in races 9 and 10. He's in to go for $12.80 on the 20-cent. Late pick 5 play. It's next.
Field on post parade for the 6th OSS Gold 2-year-old trotting fillies. 1, lo and behold, it's Louis Waugh from Egg Crone and Donovan Bailey. Number 2 is a Splash of Green. James McDonough for Blake McIntosh and Tim Klemenczyk and Andy Klemenczyk and Chris Storms. Number 3, Barbara May, Doug McNair for Greg McNair and Tom and Elizabeth Rankin. For Bingo Night, Tyler Jones for Dustin Jones and Herbert Horses. Correction, Abear Horses. 5 is Flowing Tribute, Bob McClure for Paul Reed and Patrick Dillon and Laurie Rooney and Brian Kleinberg and Richard Beinhauer. Number 6, Very Sassy, Todd Ratchford for Matthew Bax and Backstable and Glengate Farms. Well, it's a field of 6, race number 6, another field of OSS Gold, 2-year-old trotting fillies. Let's get a look at number 4, Bingo Night, 5-2 on the board, your top one.
Yeah, Bingo Night, 6 starts, 4 wins, a second and a third, and it's over $200,000 in career earnings. She was second best in the Peaceful Way, $385,000 Peaceful Way. Second best to Sugar Packet. So Bingo Night, 5-2, second choice. Surprisingly, really, there's quite a separation between the 4 and 5. I thought they'd be pretty even. I thought they'd both hover around even money because the 4 and 5, the 5 and 4 appear to be just a notch above the rest.
Well, 4 wins for Bingo Night and 3 for Flowing Tribute. They certainly do stand out there. Although Splash of Green's got 2 wins in 4 starts and James McDonald. But I anticipated
Right.
Bingo Night being the favorite. We'll see if it ends up that way. Tyler Jones for Dustin Jones. And look, that Peaceful Way, I mean, that final, that's a nice group and finished second in there.
Oh, indeed. I mean, there's Sugar Packet, a 53-3 winner. That one, that filly, Sugar Packet, she's a daughter of Six Pack. And we're quite excited, Gary, because we've got a My MVP sibling to Sugar Packet in our London Classic yearling sale. We're quite excited about that. There's quite a few yearling sale graduates involved in this. The 1, 2, and 5 all sold last fall in London.
Well, the 4 looks pretty alert. 5 Flowing Tribute. We'll see how this
Yeah.
one looks. You get Primetime Bob already with a win back in the first race for Paul Reed. 4 starts, 3 wins, and a second. Second was to Bingo Night, though.
Yeah, they've had a pretty good rivalry going early in the stakes season. Bingo Night got the best of Flowing Tribute last time out. Well, Flowing Tribute was able to win the start before that back on July 25th, where Bingo Night was able to manage a third best showing. It'll be interesting to see who's going to be leading this one. Flowing Tribute does well when on the lead, though her latest victory, wow, what a kicker on the end. 26-3 for a 2-year-old trotting filly getting home to win the latest. And that was just a conditioned race, not even Ontario Sire Stakes action.
They're not supposed to be able to go that fast this early in their career
Oh,
just yet. And this one can
crazy.
get off the gate because you see in a gold from post 8 blasted to the front and wired the field to win by almost 3. That one that Flowing Tribute beat Bingo Night. So 1-2, the fans have come for this one. And, man, just tons and tons of home runs with the Blue Jays. I think they got about 5 or 6 home runs on the night. I think 5. Vladdy just hit one, and now they've taken the lead after being down 3-0. So I got lots going on here, and let's.
You got to put up a lot of runs. Look what happened yesterday, Gary.
Yeah, well, yeah, they gave up a bunch early, so they decided, well, we're just going to outscore our trouble with the relief pitching. But how about number 3, Barbara May? You got Doug McNair, Greg McNair. They've been able to team up once in a while here at the River.
He's gotten a check every time this season. Very honest. There's no X's throughout the program lines for this daughter of Alarm Detector. She did break the maiden in the latest, so going in the right direction for sure. McNair in Ontario Sire Stakes action. What a price, 11-1.
Yeah, and yet the speed, maybe just a touch behind some of the first couple we mentioned, but not that badly. So, and you also see this one finishing second, beating a neck in a gold July the 25th. A decent outing for Barbara May. And then number 2, A Splash of Green. James McDonald's going to splash here at some point, isn't he?
Oh, it's got to. I mean, this one gets the beware for me. I mean, she was ready to rock and roll back in late June, where she had her first career victory. Then she got sick. She came back, made a couple of breaks. Since then, she has qualified and came back to win the latest. Now she's back into OSS Gold competition. I'm calling for your track record right here, Gary.
Ooh, 56-3. Well, it's only a field of 6, but we saw earlier tonight that we got to run at a
Gonna
record,
happen.
even with a smaller
Gotta
field.
happen.
Yeah, well, I think I love that you're calling it. Step out there, let's go. And 3-5,
55 and change.
Oh my Lord. Well, giddy up then. Lo and behold, and a splash of green on the inside. In the center, Barbara May and Bingo Night. And to the outside, Flowing Tribute and Very Sassy. Field for the 6th race. OSS Gold. 2-year-old trotting fillies. Field for the 6th race. In position, nearing the start. They're at the start of the rough, and Barbara May is blasting out with Flowing Tribute. And then it is Bingo Night, and lo and behold, and then a splash of green and Very Sassy. And the field races their way to the opening quarter. Barbara May has got the lead, but Flowing Tribute drives on, and Flowing Tribute may be able to come on and grab the lead from Barbara May. It is Flowing Tribute and Primetime Bob on the outside, and Barbara May, Doug McNair on the inside is going to relent, and Flowing Tribute's going to come on and flow up and take the lead. And right now, Flowing Tribute 1-5. Barbara May is racing second. Bingo Night is right now third, and then racing fourth is Lo and behold, about 6 off the lead. A splash of green and Very Sassy off at 27-2 opening quarter. Field heads their way up towards the half, and Flowing Tribute leading with Barbara May stalking from the pocket. And Bingo Night is still on the inside third, but is slightly angling out, considering that move out, as they race their way into the backstretch off a 57-3 halftime, a 30-1 second panel breather. Flowing Tribute, Barbara May, Bingo Night, and lo and behold, then a splash of green and Very Sassy now has popped out, and now popping out from third. There goes Bingo Night. Bingo Night is moving up, and Bingo Night on the outside is sharing second with Barbara May. That pair is trying to close in on Flowing Tribute. Flowing Tribute and Bingo Night and Barbara May. 3/4, 127-1. And Flowing Tribute looks strong and leads right now by about 2 1/4. Barbara May. And then on the outside, Bingo Night, but they're not coming to Flowing Tribute right now, who flowed by 3/4, 127-1. And it is Flowing Tribute on down the stretch by Barbara May, and racing third, Bingo Night. Flowing Tribute coming quickly against the clock, and it is going to be a mile of 1:55-2, a record. And Bingo Night, Barbara May, and lo and behold, Soothsayer Sugar calls the track record before the race, 1:55-2. Flowing Tribute, a tribute to you, Sugar, calling the record.
Oh, that just happened. What a really nice trotting daughter of Green Man Alicia. I'm not sure I've ever seen her go like this. Wow. She was kind of full of herself. I mean, she's parking through the quarter 27-2, was able to settle down to a 30-1 second quarter breather, and picked it up slightly through the third, 29-3, when the challenger Bingo Night came out. What a quick final quarter there, 28-1 for the newest track record holder at Grand River Raceway, Flowing Tribute. Just a $30,000 London Classic yearling sale purchase, and now she's going to put her earnings well over $150,000 from just 5 outings in 2025. She's a good one.
We've seen some nice horses from that London Classic yearling sale this year do some good things, so it's coming up next month, I believe.
Yes, mid-October. We're doing lots of work prepping for it, and I've seen the proof for the catalog. I'm loving it. It's great when you get a proof catalog in your hands, because you can find out so much more info just going through the pages. So those catalogs will be available soon. We're very excited about this sale. Many are calling it one of the best ever yearling sales in Canada for harness racing.
Well, talking about proof, both of us were more interested in Bingo Night than Flowing Tribute, and Bob and Flowing Tribute proof that, we're wrong.
Yeah, he just let her roll through that quarter mile. I mean, he wasn't taking a seat to anyone in here. Again, out for the quarter, 27-2, and able to fire home in 28 and change. I mean, this is a very, very nice filly here.
Back in front of us, 5 Flowing Tribute, 2-year-old Green Man Alicia Brown filly by Patrick Dillon and Laura Rooney and Brian Kleinberg and Richard Beinhauer, Paul Reed, the trainer. Bob McClure, the winning driver. I know trackside we also have Ryder McClure and Jace McClure. Jace and Ryder out trackside. The whole family is out along with Primetime Bob with Flowing Tribute, enjoying their night at the river, second on the evening for Primetime Bob. Sixth race. 5 Flowing Tribute, 260, 210, 210. 4 Bingo Night, 230, 210. 3 Barbara May, 280. $2 Exactor, $350 Try, $335 Super, $8.15, 20-cent Super, $163. Sixth race, order of finish from the top. 453-216. That's 453-216 on the bottom.
Alrighty, continuing to roll on with this exciting night of racing Wednesday evening. 4 races left. It's the late pick 4 getting set to start up. How about Flowing Tribute? Track record 155-2. Isn't she a doll? A 2-year-old trotting daughter, indeed, of a green Manalishi. Well done to all with that filly. She was fantastic. So, without further ado, let's start up the pop-up series leg of this late pick 4 at the river. Opening leg, I'm on 3 and 6. Ideal Perception, Sobble Ace. 3 deep in race 8, final OSS Gold event. Going postward in race number 8. The 9th race, back to the pop-up series with How You Play the Game. And Artie's Ideal, 3 deep on the end with a 157 Indigo for just $7.20 on a 20-cent late pick 4 play. Gary Guy, his late pick 4 ticket idea. Let's bring it up. A pair of them for Gary, the opening leg, 1 and 3. Hamac Victor, Ideal Perception. 8th race, he likes Mike Me Up and LP Bay. A ninth race single, Artie's Ideal, and in the end, Smoothie's Delight, Master of Fire. Just $1.60 to play along with Gary Guy. His dollar play would cost you $8 even. Conley Ecclestone, his late pick 4. Let's bring it. Conley opens up with a single with number 6, Sawbull Ace. 4 deep in race number 8 with those gold trotters. Another great mass. Strobe, Mike Me Up in LP Bay. Ninth race, How You Play the Game, Artie's Ideal. And in the end, it's JM's First Date, Smoothie's Delight. I love this ticket, actually, for Conley Ecclestone. $3.20 for a 20-cent wager. And if you want to play it for $1, $16 even. I really like this ticket idea for Connolly, so best of luck, Connolly, and best of luck if you want to play along with them. It's the late pick 4 getting set to go here at the River.
On post parade for the 7th, one is Helmack Victor, semi-filia for Amanda Riley. And number 2, Rusty's Bet, Austin Soria for Amanda Riley and Vincenzo Stranges. And number 3, Ideal Perception, Anthony Hunt for Anthony Beaton and Lisa LaForge. 4 is Captain Butler and Natasha Day from Nicoliatis. 5, He's a Handyman, Mike Horner, drives and trains for Mark Horner. And number 6, Subble Ace, Bob McClure for Otis Hall and Subble Hill Farms and Sussex Racing. And number 7, Mel's Legacy, Lauren House for Patrick Bissett and William Brown. Field of 7, race number 7. Let's get a look at number 6, Subble Ace, as Bob looks to try to get 3 wins on the evening. And Subble Ace, by the way, I mentioned out trackside, Ryder and Jace McClure out with Bob. Should have also mentioned his wife Jody, also out trackside. I'm so excited about Flowing Tribute. I forgot to give Jody her flowers for being out in the winter circle with the boys and with Primetime Bob.
There was lots of smiles there, Gary. Looked like a great family moment there for the McClures. Great to see. I think Bob was pretty excited about that victory. He's been on board some very nice horses this summer. And, another one, right? Bojangles, another fine 2-year-old, though, on the pace. But that's a really nice trotting filly he's been aboard. Flowing Tribute did absolutely nothing wrong in there. All she did was break the track record.
Yeah, and winning here, your hometown track with your family and
right.
Kids and wife around, it just makes it extra special. He's won, obviously, big races, Hambo included, but still, it's fun to do it in front of family on trackside at your home track. 6, Subble Ace gives him a shot to make it 3.
Yeah, this one is in great form coming in. The latest victory was at the River back in late July, a 52 flat going away win. Since then, it's been third a couple of times, a runner-up finisher in the latest 2. He had the big deuce behind P.L. Aussie in that track record mile at Kawartha in the latest. He gets a big shot to pick up a pop-up series victory here and put Bob McClure back in the winner's circle yet again tonight.
Number 3, Ideal Perception, last time out, dropped down against, he just wasn't in with his peeps. He was able to just dominate. They didn't get a peep at him after he left out.
No, they couldn't even challenge him. I mean, he got to the top. He was on top by 2+ throughout. An easy victory, right? 152 and 4, and he's already gotten over the river this summer in 151 and 3. He's a must play. He's an exactor factor with these. It should be a really good battle, I'm thinking, between Ideal Perception and Sobel Ace.
And then number 4, Captain Butler, is one that was second last time out to Ideal Perception in that lower class. No threat to track down Ideal Perception, but at least that was a nice mile to be able to maybe spring forward from.
A very nice outing. Steve Hudon had this one charging out of the backfield to gain a few lengths and pass a few horses through the final half. It's Natasha Day getting the catch drag assignment aboard the 16-1 long shot player this evening. I've got all kinds of time for this one for the try and superfecta here in race 7.
Number 1, Halmac Victor, Sammy Filia, Amanda Riley, and Halmac Victor, 51. You see some 51 and 51 evens, 51 and change, 2 back. You also see a couple of 50 and changes, so this is one that has got some pretty big time speed. Has made 70,000 in 26 starts this year. Halmac Victor is 4-1. I think there's some value rather than Sobel Ace at 3-5.
Right on. By far the highest earner of this field this season. You mentioned the $70,000 plus in earnings, 15 for 26 in the top 3, and this one finishing third to PL Aussie and Sobel Ace in the latest, and should be a factor with these. I mean, he was well behind Sobel Ace at the finish over that track record mile over a Kawartha, but Halmac Victor should be in the hunt here. Got him pegged as a superfecta player.
Well, I should mention that I took Halmac Victor on top. Halmac Victor in front of Ideal Perception is my top.
Wow.
2. Sobel Ace third. So I didn't get drawn into Sobel Ace, and now at 1-2, I'm like, okay, I can pass 1-2. But
Conley Ecclestone single, by the way.
Yes. Well, we've got difference of opinion here. Conley and I are together against you, so we'll see if we can team up against you here. But you got a pretty solid one at 1-2 on the board. Halmac Victor, Rusty's bat on the inside. Ideal Perception, Captain Butler, he's a handyman on the center. The outside, Sobel Ace and Mel's Legacy. It's a field of 7, and it's race number 7. Field for the 7th race. In position. They're at the start of the rough. And Sobel Ace is driving out. Sobel Ace, Ideal Perception. Halmac Victor, those the first 3. Then Rusty's bet, and he's a handyman. And Captain Butler and Mel's Legacy. And Sobel Ace wants to come on and try to clear to the front of her Ideal Perception. Halmac Victor is racing position 3rd. Then Rusty's bet, and he's a handyman. And Captain Butler and Mel's Legacy as the field works their way off the turn, heading up towards us off a 27 opening quarter. And Sobel Ace has control right now for Bob McClure. Ideal Perception, Anthony Hahn is racing 2nd. And then it is Halmac Victor and Rusty's bet. And then we've got He's a Handyman, Captain Butler, Mel's Legacy, 27 opening quarter. They head up towards the half. And it is Sobel Ace who's got the lead. Sobel Ace, Ideal Perception at 5-1 on the board, and Halmac Victor is still patiently racing along the pylons. Half of 57, a 30-second second panel breather. 4th is Rusty's bet. Captain Butler on the outside now will gain some ground, and he's a handyman. And Mel's Legacy, Sobel Ace Still leads it as they race on to three quarters. Subble Ace, Ideal Perception, and Howmack Victor elects to stay on the inside. His Captain Butler has moved up. Howmack Victor is fourth, and then Rusty's Bet, Mel's Legacy, and then it is back to He's a Handyman, and it is still Subble Ace, 1 to 5 on the board, and no urging right now. And now get some taps from Bob to keep on going. Ideal Perception, Howmack Victor on the inside, and it is Subble Ace on down the stretch. Subble Ace and Ideal Perception trying to track down Subble Ace, and Subble Ace sprints away. Subble Ace wins it, and then Ideal Perception, Howmack Victor, and Rusty's Bet, 154 flat. Subble Ace took a lot of action and then said, you know what, I'm as good as the tote board says.
Indeed. I mean, Bob McClure put him on the chooch and was able to steal away, right? 30 flat through the second quarter, and then 29 and 1 through the third. Middle half, Gary, for this class, 59 and 1. It was over.
Yeah, and that's why he was so alive. But you know, as I've told you before, I'm not brokenhearted that I missed backing a 1 to 5 shot, because they're like buses. If you miss one, well, there's another one coming by in 20 minutes.
Well, if you're backing a 1 to 5 and a multi-leg wager, you better be singling, right? So that's what Conley did. The more I looked at Conley's ticket when I saw it, I said, this is a winner. This is a winning ticket, and I tried to get that across to the players. And so I think Conley's got this late pick 4 figured out. Bob McClure's got Grand River figured out tonight, his third driving win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he keeps wanting to make sure I have a lot of time to mention his kids and wife out in the winner's circle, because they're wearing out a path going in there.
You know what? Good on them. A nice family outing, right, for Team McClure. They're going to gather once again, I'm sure. 27 and 4 on the end. Real nice final score. We don't see much for 27 speed on the end of the miles here at the river, especially on a weeknight.
Yeah, no, Sugar, usually if you go for a family outing, it's going to cost you some money, but Bob's family outing is not costing him a penny. In fact, it's making him a few dollars.
Bob's going home with his pockets full tonight.
Well, and having a happy night while he's at it. Well, there's 6-3-1-2, and, well, I went against the 1 to 5 shot, and Bob said, yeah, bonehead. Subble Ace and Primetime Bob back in front of his Subble Ace. 5-year-old better than Cheddar Bay horse, owned by Sobble Hill Farms and Susseto Racing. Otis Hall, the trainer. And Bob McClure with a primetime evening, the driving hat trick for Primetime Bob. And, well, we get some more FaceTime for Jace McClure and Ryder McClure, and also Jody McClure, all out trackside, enjoying the night here at Grand River Raceway. Seventh race, number 6 Subble Ace, 270, 210, 210. 3 Ideal Reception, 350, 240. 1 Hamac Victor, 210. $2 Exactor, $760. Dollar Try, $5. Dollar Super, $15.70. 20-cent Super, $3.14. Fans, while we have a moment, like to wish Brant Laird a happy 70th birthday. It is Brant Laird's birthday. Happy 70th birthday to Brant Laird. Seventh race order finish from the top. 342 561 7. That's 342 561 7 on the bottom.
Hi, I'm Susie Kerwood. I train standardbred racehorses. I've been doing this for a few decades, and I'd love to talk about some of the products of the Omega Alpha that I use along the way. Respiratory, it really opens up their airways on them, and clears them up. One other product that I actually really love for my horses is Healthy Horse. It has everything that you really need in the stressful situations when the horses are racing. It's a fantastic product to keep your horse healthy all season long.
On post parade, 1, another great mass, Trevor Henry for Ed Piccone Jr. Number 2 is Strobe Light, James Botana for Benoit Baeto, Jean Cledamel, and Nunzio Vina and Glengate Farms. Number 3, Not at the Table, Carlos Bombaclure for Mike Keeling and Dreamville Stables and Pitbull Stables. Number 4, Mike Me Up, Louis Waugh for Robert Kyle Fellows and Yolanda Fellows and Blair Corbeil and Mike McAllister. And number 5, Mass Deployment, Talbot for Rene Dion and SNR Racing. And number 6, LP Bay, Mario Bay Eroja for Mark Etzel and Terry DeVos and Peter Porter. It is a field of 6 for race number 8, OSS Gold, 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings. And, well, let's get a look at this field. And want to start with number 2, Strobe Light, James McDonald and Benoit by Eroja. And Strobe Light is coming into this one. Look, William Wellwood finishing 3rd. That's a pretty good measuring stick. And although this one didn't win in the 3 golds and doesn't have a win yet, certainly has raced consistently well.
Very good, right? 2 seconds and 3/3 from 6 outings. Still a maiden coming in, but I'm going to borrow a line from Jim Morris in the doors. He's ready to break on through to the other side tonight.
Well, break on through to the other side. Strobe Light, only a 16,000 yearling purchase. London Classic yearling sale. We're seeing those London Classic horses show up and be worth a lot more than what they paid. And well, this one's made $103,000, and yet it's still
imagine, hey,
just a 2-year-old. So I would say they're pretty happy with that sale price. And won another great mass. Let's get a look at this muscle mass and see if he looks like a muscle mass. Trevor Henry for Ed Piccone Jr. And well, there he is. And well, has a win in a gold July the 31st. 3 wins in 6 starts.
Right on. He's done all right this season. $134,000 banked and worth a look. All he's got to do is mind his manners. Kind of a leggy muscle mass. Now, if I had to guess, I would be thinking this looks like a Green Manalishi type, but no, son of muscle mass right here.
5 out of 6 in the top 2. The only one that wasn't a top 2 was a break and stride in a gold. And so another great mass. First order of business is to stay flat. Trevor Henry looking for a second win on the evening. Number 5, Mass Deployment. Well, this is one that hasn't yet tried golds, grassroots, and then a maiden, but now tries it here this evening off of 2 starts. And, well, actually, the 2 starts were pretty solid.
They are pretty solid, and maybe that's why Tyler is on this 5, Mass Deployment. He's been on Strobe Light each and every start this season. The current favorite at even money. So here's Tyler going on the 5, Mass Deployment. He's been on this one as well. Rene Dion conditioned and a second and a third. Yet to race in OSS Gold, but could be sitting on a big one.
I'm really surprised that number 4, Mike Me Up, is getting a little bit disrespected. Louis Waugh, Robert Kyle Fellows. This is one that was pretty darn fine in a gold. Went all the way on top. And, well, one that beat that Green Gazoo, which we saw race earlier this evening, to victory. Mike Me Up, your comments on this one with Louis Waugh.
Yeah, he does really good when he's on the lead and being left alone on the lead. I'm not quite sure he can take an eyeball because they got to him late in his last start. But the win before that, 155 flat, they just weren't going to catch him. He just bottomed out the field.
And Mike Me Up, I mean, look at, you see this one as the pace setter in each of the last 4 starts. That first start didn't leave a bunch of just, first career start. But since then, they've had one plan, and that's to get on out of there. So, of course, the key will be to get the right fractions. And, sometimes in a more compact field, you can get left alone a little bit more so than in a larger field.
Indeed. And you know what? 6-horse field, lots of room out there. Speaking of one that needed some room last time, I've just gotten word from a friend of the show, Hall of Famer Randy Waples. Sent along a little tidbit here. Not at the table, Carlos. Leaving from post 3, he mentioned was incredible in the latest, but he was locked in. So maybe that one gets a big beware here for Bob McClures, who's having himself a night, Gary.
He's having a family night. It decided it's family night, and so yeah, let's see if he makes it 4. Makes the family even better off.
I like the look of this one. Look at the chrome. He's got the socks on. He's got the look of a muscle mass, and he's got the blessing of a Randy Waples here for being locked in the latest.
Yeah, and one thing I should mention with that Mike Me Up, and the other reason why I was surprised, we saw this one race here back July 30th in the Grassroots. Well, clearly the Grassroots wasn't good enough for him because he won by 7 lengths and was not tested at all. And Mike Me Up since that one went on to win a gold next time out.
Indeed. I mean, we've talked about 5 of them here. LP Bay,
Yeah.
Mario, Bayerjean, longest shot on the board. He's 5 for 6 in his 2-year-old season. Very nice group of 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings here, Gary.
Yeah, the last time we saw this one here was in a Grassroots crushing a field, so he's won here too. Not as quick, but certainly it's a good field. Field of 6 OSS Gold 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings, and they are on into the backstretch. Field for race number 8 is at the start of the rough, and LP Bay, Mike Me Up, and LP Bay went off stride. Mike Me Up is got the lead, and Strobe Light is second. Another great mass, not at the table Carlos, and now another great mass went off stride, so not at the table Carlos will inherit third. Mass Deployment is fourth, and they race their way to the opening quarter, and it is Mike Me Up who's got the lead as the field works their way off the turn and heads on towards us, and it is Mike Me Up at 7-1 who's got the lead, but now popping out Strobe Light, and James McDonald wants to come on and grab the front. Strobe Light, even money on the board, is now cleared to the front. Mike Me Up is second, not at the table Carlos is third, and Mass Deployment is racing position to fourth as they work their way on up past the half, and it is right now Strobe Light and James McDonald on top. Mike Me Up is in the pocket, not at the table Carlos is third, just 3 off the lead and still on the pylons, and then Mass Deployment 58-4 halftime, a 30-2 relaxed second panel, and Strobe Light is looking sharp right now and is just cruising, no urging, leads by 2 1/4. Mike Me Up, not at the table Carlos has work to do, about 5 off the lead, and then Mass Deployment, Strobe Light. Mike Me Up is getting a little bit closer as they race their way to 3/4 in 1:28. And it is Strobe Light with Mike Me Up right in tight in the pocket, staying on the back of Strobe Light for now. And then third, not at the table Carlos and Mass Deployment. And now Mike Me Up has stepped out as the field turns for home. Strobe Light, and now Mike Me Up is going to dart well to the outside, but Strobe Light, as they come to the finish, Strobe Light just strides away. Strobe Light victorious in 1:58-1. Mike Me Up is second, not at the table Carlos third, and Mass Deployment is fourth, and Strobe Light is one that was really sharp and not tested, even though I thought maybe Mike Me Up might have something to say. Had nothing to say to Strobe Light.
Yeah, he was kind of sitting on a win coming in. He's been right there in 5 of his 6 outings in 2025, and now he's going to inflate his career earnings to almost $150,000 there. You mentioned a very modest, a $16,000 price at the London Classic yearling sale last season. So Strobe Light, yeah, we mentioned ready to break on through to the other side. He trotted home quite a bit here. I was surprised. I was thinking he was going to trot a mile here in 57, but the timer right now says 1:58-1. That was a quick final 8th, very quick.
Yeah, and it looked really strong. I kind of doubted the timer, but I guess it is what it is. We'll see. But I was also interested. Action at the top of the stretch, but maybe it's just one pylon. But nonetheless, strobe
I
light.
think I think he kind of over one and maybe inside another, but they might want to take a look. But I think he's fine, and I mean that final eight's got to be 14 seconds.
And James certainly drove this one like he thought he was as good as what, well, he ended up being.
Indeed, I mean he had a pocket ride, but this horse wanted to ramble tonight. So James puts him on top, and there was never going to be an issue with getting him to the winner's circle. You got some pretty good prices underneath. There's a couple of horses broke in the early going. Might be up a decent deuce. Not at the table, Carlos. I'm sure Randy Waples liked that trip. 14-1, third best showing in mass deployment. Really good looking colt son of muscle mass rounding out the top four here.
You had to know that we weren't going the whole night without a James McDonald in the winner's circle.
100%.
The PEI connections have to show up with sugar here, trackside.
Bring them on home.
And there is number 2, Strobe Light, a 2-year-old alarm detector bay gelding by Benoit Baillargeon, Claude and Nunzio Vina and Glengate Farms. Benoit Baillargeon is the trainer. James McDonald, the winning drive. First win for Strobe Light as he breaks on through to the other side. 158-1. Eighth race payouts to Strobe Light, 410, 270, and 220. For Mike Me Up, 550, 283. Not at the table, Carlos, 460. $2 exactor, 1660. Dollar try, 59.90. Dollar super, 173.35. 20-cent super, 34.67. Eighth race, order of finish from the top. 513246. That's 513246 on the bottom. Field for the ninth on parade. One instantaneous. Austin Sorry for Amanda Riley and Vincenzo Stranges. At number 2, How You Play the Game. Tyler Borth drives for Jody Cullen and David Snowden. 3 is Hardy's Ideal Semi-Folio for Robert Kyle Fellows in Hut Racing. 4 is Wild River Bumblebee. Jason Ryan for Julie Walker and Dr. John Bradbury. Number 5, Larjon Levi, Lauren House for Patrick Bissett and Larry Lane. And number 6 is State of Play, Daryl Thiessen for Lindsay Kerr and Rebecca Masters. Field of 6, race number 9. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, we'll start with number 2, How You Play the Game, and Tyler Borth for Jody Cullen. 4 to 5 the board. Took the lion's share of the early action, although money has come now for Artie's Ideal to even things out a little bit more. But you can't fault the recent form on How You Play the Game.
Right on, the form is there. I mean, when he won last week, I said to myself, "There's nobody going to beat him in this pop-up series." Well, here comes Artie's Ideal showing up to compete, and here comes PL Aussie, who won in 50-2 earlier on. We mentioned Flowing Tribute was a trotting track record for the 2-year-olds. Well, that was an aged pacing mark as well at Grand River Raceway for PL Aussie. So good for the connections there. Track records all over the place this summer at Grand River Raceway. How you play the game picks up Tyler Borth, but he's got his hands full, I'm sure, with Artie's Ideal. Should be a pretty good showdown here between those two.
Look, I mean, Artie's Ideal is one that has a lot of class, but how you play the game has really been playing better of late and has really come on nicely. This is one that was kind of struggling through a stretch. Got a win at Georgia in July the 6th, and then things got a little light for how you play the game, but has come back playing it very well. 8-time winner last year out of a power barn of Jody Cullen. I do have Artie's Ideal on top in that Big Five, but nonetheless, Artie's Ideal is one that I just think he might have something to say about how you play the game here.
Artie's Ideal. I mean, if he gets any kind of trip in here, he's pretty good on the front end, even. So I'm going to look for him to be on top or enjoying a pocket ride. He's a must play. He's an exactor factor. Again, I think it comes down to the 2 and 3, 3-2. You might want to think about exactor boxing, that pair. To me, they kind of lay over the field. There's nothing in their program lines that wouldn't suggest they should be first and second. So that's where I'm at. Just an exactor box hard.
Now, you know how much I love splitting the exactors, especially if you got 4-5 and 3-2. The one the fans think, and you think is the one if you're going to try to split one. How about one sent up by Amanda Riley that's been racing well at Kawartha?
Yeah, I've been first and second in the latest two, but I don't see any 52 speed for that one this evening. I mean, the 2 and 3 can go 52, no problem over the river, I'm sure. And I don't think there's a horse in here besides the 2 and 3 that can show that kind of speed. I think the 1 has got a great shot at third. Austin Sorry will try to have this one situated up close. I don't think this one is a contender for the top 2 spots, but try and superfecta Indy.
Well, and one that no stranger to third last year, 14 third place finishes. Instantaneous, though, this is the third start off of a layoff. One that did win at Mohawk in 51-1 last year. I think he could maybe be rounding into form, just might like Austin Sorry. Maybe firing this one. I saw this one at Flamborough fire out March the 20th. I think it might just
I see
be
what you're saying here. Third start back off the layout. Third start for this barn, too, right? So, I don't know. Maybe a chance at being second best between the 2 favorites currently.
So you say there's a chance. And
yeah, the old Jim Carrey. They're saying there's a chance.
And number 6, State of Play. I mean, what has this one done wrong of late? A couple wins. Well, actually, a win and a second that wins a qualifier. So a win and a second in the past 3. And out of one of my favorite barns, out of Lindsay Kerr, with double-barrel Darrell driving.
Right on. A very nice horse and fitting in well for a chance in here. And much like the 1, I just don't see the 6 with that 52 kind of speed over the river. Racing for third or fourth, I think. The rest of them beyond the 2 and 3. 2 and 3 have kind of been close for favorite status here, and I'm expecting them both to go away here around even money.
Well, State of Play won this class last time out, but didn't face this Artie's Ideal
right.
to play the game. So we'll see. But still, nonetheless, horse comes in sharp, and you did get 14-1. Instantaneous, how you play the game on the inside of the center. Artie's Ideal and Wild River Bumblebee. Then Larjan Levi and State of Play. Field for the 9th race. all in position. They're at the start of the rough. And Artie's Ideal tries to time the gate with How You Play the Game. How You Play the Game and Artie's Ideal, the top two. Instantaneous, Wild River Bumblebee, Largent Levi, and State of Play. And it is How You Play the Game. Artie's Ideal is parked right now as Instantaneous is going to fill the pocket. And Artie's Ideal is going to try to find a seat and squeeze in front of Wild River Bumblebee. Then Largent Levi and State of Play. 6 in a line now, 26-2. Solid opening panel. How You Play the Game has got the lead for Tyler Borth and is in front of Instantaneous at 6-1. Artie's Ideal is even money in racing third, along with How You Play the Game on top is even money. Wild River Bumblebee is fourth, and Largent Levi and State of Play of a 26-2 opening quarter. The field heads up towards the half, and How You Play the Game is playing it nicely right now. Has a lead of a length and a half and a 56-1 half, a 29-4 second panel. Instantaneous is racing second. Artie's Ideal is racing third. Largent Levi on the outside is going to move up, and Artie's Ideal is going to stay on the inside. Largent Levi is moving, and then State of Play, and then it is back to Wild River Bumblebee. But it is How You Play the Game who's playing well and leads, and Tyler Borth is laying back in the bike straight, and now has this one out to a lead of about 2 1/4. Instantaneous, Largent Levi, Artie's Ideal on the inside, striding through to take back third. Largent Levi. It is How You Play the Game at Instantaneous. 1:25 3/4, and How You Play the Game. Instantaneous. How You Play the Game. Played it on top and won. Instantaneous second. Artie's Ideal third. Wild River Bumblebee. 1:53-1. How You Play the Game. Well, how did he play, Sugar? I thought he played pretty well.
Played pretty good in there. You played it well, too. I mean, you were suggesting one Instantaneous to be in the middle between the favorites. Well, the only thing I was right about, Gary, is is that the 2 and 3 would both go away at even money.
Yeah, they both just drew so much attention. But I love splitting up the favorites. And,
you do.
You got them split with one that 6-1. And I argued that this horse is one that probably was going to be able to go a little bit more third start off the layoff.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, when you kind of talked me into it, right? When you mentioned a third start back off the layoff, and then I got looking third start for Amanda Riley as well, and I thought, yeah, now there's a chance. And your angle,
well, and Austin
doing it well,
put this one in
got
play
that
early
value
too.
Play for second. I'm sorry?
He put this one in play early. That was a big difference, too.
Yeah. I mean, he was plugged in, right? There was no way he was giving up his rail advantage, the 2-hole ride, and that allowed for Artie's Ideal to get roughed up through a hot quarter of 26-2. And, the body language on Artie's Ideal after that parking trouble through the opening quarter, it looked to me like he wasn't going to be able to mount a challenge for the deuce. So those that had the 2 on top with the 1 sitting second at the quarter mile, they could head for the windows to cash.
And we've seen Sammy time the gate well on a lot of occasions this year. This time wasn't able to time it, and How You Play the Game got the jump, and that kind of did him in. So we get that split of the 2 even monies the way I like to see it happen. It's a 2-1-3-4, Sugar. How You Play the Game. One that you played on top and got rewarded. How You Play the Game's a 6-year-old sports rider bay gelding by David Snowden, trained by Jody Cullen. Tyler Borth, winning driver, 5th win this year in 15th lifetime. Mile of 1:53-1. Ninth race payouts to how you play the game. $4, $240, $210, one instantaneous, $450, $273, Artie's Ideal, $220, $2 exactor, $16.40, dollar tries, $7.85, dollar super, $42.85, 20-cent super, $8.57. Ninth race, order of finish, 2-1-3-4-6-5. That's 2-1-3-4-6-5.
I'm Natasha Day. I train and drive harness racing horses at London, Ontario. These are my main products that I use in my racehorse barn that are all Omega Alpha, the Biotic 8, the Immune Plus, the Anti-Flam, which is great for the horses after they've had a hard day racing. The Biotic 8, I swear by it. Get all the dapples out, gets the old coat out, gets everything pumping and moving and makes the shine really come out.
Are you dreaming of a career with horses? The Ontario Equine Education and Employment Program is here to help. If you're an Ontario resident, you can take our free course and turn your passion into a profession. And employers can register for the program and receive wage subsidies, 50% for up to 18 weeks, or a maximum of $5,000. It's a win-win for job seekers and businesses alike. Ready to take the reins? Visit OntarioEquineEducation.com today and start your journey in the equine industry.
Field on the 10th for Parade. 1, Jim's First Date, Louis Bois for Heather Pickett. And Chris Jewett and John Gray. Number 2, Wicked West and Todd Ratchford for Mary Ratchford and Erin Waxman and Tess Waxman. 3 is Smoothies Delight, Damien McClellan for Robert Kyle Fellows and Jeff McFadden. Number 4, Better Zone, Childbirth for Vig Putty and Mike Horwood at Limco Incorporated. Number 5, be Benjamin B. Daryl Thiessen for Ken Oliver. Number 6 is Snowport, Jason Ryan for Ashley Lenvoy and Gino Toscani. Number 7, Master of Fire, Sammy Filia for Robert Kyle Fellows, Yolanda Fellows, and Blair Corbila, Patrick Dillon, and Windermere Stable. 8 is Laser, Lauren House for Cassidy Schneider and Colonel Schneider Jr. And 9 is Renegade Beach, Austin Sorry from Matthew Pennis and Meteora Stable. It's a field of 9. It's race number 10. We've got a super high 5, and, well, we'll see if we can... if Sugar can give you 5 here. Looks like he's starting off with all the odd numbers. How about number 1, Jim's First Date? Well, this is one that's got a couple wins on the air, but it's been a little while since that win.
Love this horse tonight, Gary. I would call him my best bet if he wasn't 4 to 5. I did not expect that. You know, he was 9 to 2 in the morning line. He was a pretty good price last time out, but Louis Bois, reuniting here, right, has made him an odds-on favorite. I went back to his last replay over the river. Now, he's making a move on the outside prior to the half. He got a little crooked going into the half-mile turn, and then he's caught up in traffic on the backside. It's into the final turn, 4 wide throughout that final turn, and gaining ground, not passing horses, but gaining ground. It was a huge trip. I mean, the program line that he shows, it doesn't do him justice. I mean, I haven't seen a horse go 4 wide through the final turn and put on a show like he did, though only to finish 7th. That's the funny thing about it. I mean, it was so impressive. Probably the most impressive 7th best finish I've seen all summer at Grand River Raceway.
Well, you see him getting scored down right now. Louis Bois looks like he's got some intent. Got the hood on. He doesn't hear your comments because he's paying attention. He's got the hood on. Number 5, Benjamin B. currently is one that is being on the board at 7 to 1. One that was good at Clinton back in July, not as good of late.
Well, 2 back at the river. Came from way back to finish 5th. He paced the back half in 56 and change. For me, I've got all kinds of time for this one to hit the exactor. I mean, 6 to 1 currently. Don't take anything lower because, he's been at some pretty big odds in the last 3 starts. 19 to 1, in fact, a 3 back over Georgian Downs. For me, should have a pretty good kick at the end. Daryl Thiessen likes to put him in play. Wouldn't mind seeing him race up close if he could get him up that way. Price player, worth a long look in here. Number 5, Benjamin B.
Number 7, Master of Fire, a 3-year-old now, $70,000 yearling purchase that has had 9 starts. Only 2 top 3s, but one of those 2 last him out, beaten just half the length. Tougher post, though.
Is a tougher post, but does have that gate blasting move in the last couple of starts. He was able to make front 2 back at the river, 28 and 1, faded to 5th. Got a trip up close last time out, wasn't used as hard in the early going, and did manage to second by a half length. But you might be right. The post 7 might cause a problem for him in here.
Yeah, and you get Sammy Filia and Robert Kyle Fellows, big tandem at 25 to 1. Number 3, Smoothies Delight. Well, the last race, beating a length and a quarter. At first you look 5th, and then, a little closer, you realize, okay, we're still in the hunt. And battled first up. I think that actually, if you look at the form, Smoothies Delight is one that comes in with the most form of this field.
Yeah, paced a big mile, 55-2, and was out a long ways. First up, 6-1, pretty good value. I mean, they are absolutely pounding the one horse here still late. I don't think there's a whole lot of gate speed for the one, but we'll see what LPR can do with them.
Well, I didn't get the memo because I'm on the 3 and 7. And one more is number 4, Better Zone. A final thought.
Final thought, Better Zone, Vic Putty, Totterborth with a catch driving assignment. Let's go.
8th beaten 2 1/4 last time out. Man, oh man. First to look at 8th, but 2 1/4 in the hunt. It's a field of 9. Race number 10, the final dash. On a wonderful Wednesday night at the river as they are wending their way towards the start. Field 4, race number 10 is at the start of the rough, and Snowport shovels out with Smoothie's Delight, Benjamin B, Wicked Weston, then it is Master of Fire 5th, Jim's First Date is 6th, and then Renegade Beach, and back further is Better Zone, and then Laser is trailing the field. Snowport at 11-1's got the lead for Jason Ryan as they race their way on towards us, and then Smoothie's Delight. Third, currently being third, is Benjamin B, Wicked Weston, and Master of Fire. They race off a quarter of 28, and the field comes on towards us. And it is Snowport who's got the lead over Smoothie's Delight as they race past us. And third is Benjamin B. And fourth is Wicked Weston. Now Jim's First Date is wanting to move up and have a date with Snowport. And popping up from third, there goes Daryl Thiessen and Benjamin Beeson as they race their way on up towards the half. And Snowport, Benjamin B, Smoothie's Delight. Jim's First Date is right there in the hunt now. Wicked Weston's racing fifth, and then Master of Fire and Better Zone, Renegade Beach. And back trailing is Laser off of 58-1 halftime. Now coming on, grabbing the lead is Benjamin B. But Jim's First Date 3 wide. Now is coming and grabbing a share of the lead with Benjamin B. And now the lead alone. Jim's First Date and Benjamin B. and Snowport. Then Smoothie's Delight and Wicked Weston. But Jim's First Date leads by about 4 or 5 as they're about to turn for home. Then Snowport trying to take back second. Benjamin B. and then Smoothie's Delight and Wicked Weston and Master of Fire. But Jim's First Date has a date with a photographer coming up in a few seconds. Jim's First Date on cruise control. Snowport and Benjamin B. And on the outside, Smoothie's Delight. Smoothie's Delight is in a photo with Benjamin B. But a mile for Jim's First Date, 1:55-2. Well, you were looking at that last start and didn't need to be 4 wide on the final turn in this one.
Not at all. Again, I don't think I've ever said that about a horse before in my life. The most impressive 7th place finish I've ever seen. But it was. He was that good last time out, 4 deep, all the way around that last turn. And you know what? Gaining through the third quarter here tonight, 27-4 speed there. And he would have been close to 27 flat going up there through the third and was able to kick off to win by open lengths. New mark, 1:55-2, as good as advertised here with LPR on board.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Jim's First Date didn't do a whole lot early, but then when he pulled out, and he didn't get stuck being out wide because he went out 3 wide and went around them like they were not in his level.
Yeah, I mean, you caught a score down there of him. I didn't think there was any gate speed to be shown tonight, and he didn't. I mean, Louis had him well relaxed off the gate, but when he put him in play, wow, did he ever motor.
Well, and I mean, he's got the hood on, so we didn't hear what you said about him, but he certainly raced like he'd heard you because Jim's First Date came in, and I'm sure Louis was realized how good this one was the last time out, and said, yeah, okay, let's skedaddle then, and that's what he did. And this is one that you saw the last a start back here July the 9th. This is one that had trouble staying flat, but then the last couple of tries here was smooth and comes back smoothly for a photo.
Yeah, just sort of a work in progress, likely for trainer Heather Pickett, but great to see him show up tonight for a new best. Win didn't surprise me. The short price did.
Yeah, well, good call, Sugar. And we'll talk to you on Friday night.
Right on.
Back in front of us is number 1, Jim's First Date, a 3-year-old Big Jim Brown gelding over Heather Pickett and Chris Jewett and John Gray. Heather Pickett is the trainer. Louis Waugh, the winning driver. 3rd win for Jim's First Date. 155 and 2, a new career best. 3rd lifetime win. Tenth race payouts. 1, Jim's First Date, 310, 220, 210, 3, Smoothies Delight, 360, 250. 5, Benjamin B, 450, $2 exactor, 590. Dollar try, 1175. Dollar high five, 280.90. We had a double of 2 and 1. $2 ticket, 570. Dollar pick 3, 695. Dollar pick 4 is 1290. And the 20-cent pick 5, 642. Tenth race, or we finish from the top. So 1, 6, 2, 9, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 on the bottom. Once again, from the top down, 1, 6, 2, 9, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 on the bottom. Well, fans, that concludes the live harness racing program for this Wednesday evening. Next racing event is this Friday, and our first dash will go to post at 6:20 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Josie Bean. Good night, horse.